Welcome, everyone, back to season 3. I can't believe we made it this far, by the way. Season 3 of Roleplay Podcast with our new co-host for season 3. Please introduce yourself.
Chatterbox the clown. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Do you like how Mickey calls you Mr. Box?
Dude, ever since you started doing that, so many people started doing it after you, and it won't stop now.
I don't know. I like calling people Mr. and then whatever their last name is. That feels like a very Mickey-ish thing to do. All right. And we are not alone. Also on call and in spirit with us is our new chief of production, Demoki there. Hello.
Yeah, I'm there. I was trying to use a walkie-talkie sound, but I did not get it in time, so I'm so sorry. Don't worry, I'm here to make sure they stay on topic. There'll be only 5 minutes of hockey talk allowed. I've got you guys. Don't worry, it's going to be our roleplay podcast.
I'm sure we're gonna squeeze more than 5.
Well, we got to start off with there's a crazy news today that everyone needs to talk about. Yes, I am going to be rooting for the Winnipeg Jets now. With the LA Kings being eliminated yesterday, I've decided I'll be tuning into the game today. And yes, I will cheer for the Jets in the Stanley Cup. I know everyone was waiting to discuss this. So
I started the timer.
There we go, guys. There we go. Listen, all you Dallas fans always talk shit to me. Look at that. I got another one. I got another American on the Canadian franchise bandwagon here. All right. Let it be known.
The Jets are like. I've always kind of liked the Jets. You guys at least have like cool like. Dude, I don't let LA hear this. I just don't like the like. I guess like the all black is cool, but it's like there's no color in the uniforms. You know, like the Jets have like a sick color scheme. Like
they're heritage jerseys, man.
We're 2 minutes. Oh fuck.
It's the whole time.
Connor Hellebuck, is he going to be able to start playing good? Like I didn't know.
He's shaky as hell, and the pressure's getting to him. But hey, look. Right now in that series, it's the best American goaltender in the world versus the best Canadian goaltender in the world. It's basically a rerun of the Four Nations, and guess what? The Canadian goaltender is just better. Crazy how that is, but the Jets are still finding a way to pull it off.
You're talking shit about your own goalie, man.
I am, bro. If you watched any of those games, man, it's bad. How do you play so good in a season, then get into the playoffs and be like, I'm just not gonna save anything anymore?
Oh my god! And meanwhile, dude, I didn't know about playoff Bobrovsky. Did you see the saves he made for Florida?
An animal.
Oh my god,
that's an animal.
Okay, and as a side note,
we're done. Okay,
anyways, all right. That's hockey talk. All right.
Tune in next week for 2 weeks from now for more hockey talk.
That wasn't any fun. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Roleplay Podcast. We'll be back in 2 weeks. No, I mean, like, I don't even know like so much what to discuss about, but it is the big news. GTA 6 has an announced date. Or launch date now. Even if it's disappointing some people. Your first impressions, thoughts, what did you think?
Not surprised. I called this from the long run because this is what happens every time with a good game. They're going to delay it. I knew, I figured it wasn't coming out 2025. Look, for all the haters out there, this is what I'm going to say to you, okay? It's not a bad thing.
Yes, thank you.
It's not a bad thing because when has Rockstar ever gave you a bad game? Never. Every time they give you a game, it's fucking awesome, okay? They delayed GTA 6, okay? That's because they're focusing on making another good game. So a delay is not bad. And everybody keeps saying, oh, it's been 13 years, 14, whatever, however long it's been, okay? They said at the end of GTA 5 that when they released that was it, okay? They haven't been working on this game for 13 years, you guys. They just started working on it when they announced it. So they delayed it because they're still working on it. They're going to give you a good game, all right?
I think people with video games and how they work, people think that I don't know, like Dave from accounting needs to be coding. It's like GTA 5 ships and okay, Dave, start coding for GTA 6. It's that's not how it works, right? Also they're they were working on Red Dead 2 for a while. They have multiple teams working on different things. They probably have a whole other team that was dedicated to I don't know, GTA Online, right? They have some team that, went and bought 5M, right? Like that they're like clearly they have multiple teams doing things.
Absolutely. Look, I don't know, everybody just likes to complain, and I'm one of them with specific things, but like, look, you guys can't name one bad Rockstar game. So just saying.
That's true.
They never let us down with stuff. So I mean, take this as a good thing. And look, and in RP chat, listen, in RP specifically, like one more year of the Funhouse. Come on, clowns, you know what's up. Because when GTA 6 RP drops, we're never gonna roleplay there ever again, and that's a fact. We will never see that house again. So keep that in mind.
Why are you trying to like that? Okay, actually, here's an interesting question. Are you gonna bring over the character Chatterbox into the world of GTA 6?
Yeah, I am. There was a moment that it wasn't gonna. It could have not happened, and that was during my perma roll era. And
you're on my perma era.
Yeah. I took some risks there, but we got through those risks, and I'm not taking any more of those risks until GTA 6 at a good time. So
no, I feel like that's the right like why would you, if you have an iconic character, why would you not want to like bring them over into, and it's also cool because it's like you have so much established lore and character that now you get to experience a new world through that character. It's really cool. Not to say that, I don't know what your plans are. Maybe you want to make another character. Like for me, I'm like, I definitely want to bring Mickey over at least. And also have, I mean, it's also me though, so I make a new character every like 2 weeks. But, I'll definitely want to do like something new for it as well. Yeah, I hope people bring over their like iconic characters.
Yeah, it's just for me, it's kind of like the way like how to go about it, right? Like what's NoPixel's rulings gonna be moving into that, right? Like how like from I think it was I didn't play 2.0. I started in 3.0. I played probably 2 weeks of 2.0, like near the end.
Well, you're the same as me then. We both started 3.0.
Okay, well, there we go. So like, you probably know more about it than I do, but apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, when 2.0 ended, going into 3.0, there was a memory wipe. There was no like everything was like on a reset. I heard that a couple times from people at TwitchCon. But like
it was like I feel like it was like half. Like it was what I remember was like you could remember or you could not. Like it was kind of like your choice. I think they actually kind of.
How would you go about that? Like if I want to remember something, and then there's another role player that doesn't want to remember something, like with your relationship or like how you guys role played, or if your enemy is like, how do you meet? That's just awkward.
I'm not listening. As you guys know, Roleplay Podcast, we try to stay drama free mostly. But I will just say one thing. As a new role player in 3.0, I learned very quickly that the lore of the path of 2.0 very much was important to some people. I was in some groups where I was like, oh shit, like there's like, and that's not even me throwing shade. I actually think that was like a good thing. I like that there was that, tension,
Yeah, but let's say Mickey played in 2.0, okay, and Mickey had an enemy, okay, and then you go to 3.0 and you're like, okay, I don't want to remember any of this. I don't want this to be, part of the lore anymore because that's your choice. But that other guy that you had bad beef with was like, nah, I remember this shit, motherfucker. Like, and comes at you. Like, isn't that kind of defeat the purpose?
Yeah. I mean, okay. I think it's I think it's tricky because I don't know. How do you feel? I'm of the opinion that you shouldn't memory wipe. Like you almost kind of want to continue the stories and continue I think trying to wipe memories is like it's just not, unless you want to literally be like, this is an entirely new world. But like, then it's going to be awkward when it's like, hey, it's a whole new world. Oh my God. It turns out that like, Chatterbox meets up with other clowns who then also become it's like, they're obviously going to hang out because they're clowns. I mean, maybe you guys would be, hey, like, what if we beefed it with each other and like the clowns all are trying to kill each other? Hey, maybe you guys might come like
It's
like
funny
the
you
same
say
people
that.
are gonna find each
We
other.
did that from 3 to 4.0. We came back and we were all hating on each other and trying to murder each other because we made
Right, so
lore
there
in
you go.
between, right? But
Yeah,
I mean,
but,
my opinion, that's the way you should do it. It's just kind of like don't put restrictions on what you can remember, anything like that. Just let people do what they want, move forward with your lore and stuff like that. Because if you're playing the same character, why erase the past, right? You've already built so much with them, right? You're choosing to continue with that character. There's a reason for that, right? If you don't want the old lore to follow you, make a new character.
yeah.
Done. It's a new start. That actually makes sense.
I do think part of it though is because I don't know if you again, we try to stay drama free here on the Roleplay Podcast, but I do think there is a reality that a lot, and it's just like I'm not even saying this isn't to like throw shade at it. It's just the reality of life, which is a lot of like conflicts between people are not always like the characters. It's because OOC, maybe the streamers just don't like each other, right? And so it's like it doesn't matter what new character you play, you're probably just not going to get along with that person, which I think is okay. I'm on a new arc. I'm curious for your thoughts on this, Chatterbox. My new arc is let's have bad blood. Fuck it. Let's it's not. I'm not saying to embrace the drama, but like, yo, you don't fuck with this person. Hey, that's great. Let's bring everyone into a server together and let's all not fuck with each other. I think it's good. Okay. And this is I need your reaction to this, Jared, because people have been talking about this. There's been a recent conversation. I saw it on like some YouTube clips. I saw it on Reddit and on Twitter. I saw it in a few places. I miss the days of 3.0 when it felt like everyone was on one server and people hated each other. I miss that.
Okay, I agree with I miss half of that. I miss everybody being together, but I don't miss everybody fucking hating each other. I was always like, why? It's a video game, dude. Like, why do we gotta hate on each? Like, okay, sure, people do some weird shit sometimes. Okay, whatever. But like, dude, sometimes it's just kind of like fucking just play the game. Like, it's not you don't gotta go to bed thinking about this stuff at night. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, I mean, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't follow too much of all the shit that used to happen. But the stuff that I always did see was always like cop versus gang, and why cop does not like gang, and why gang does not like cop. Fuck you, cop. Fuck you, gang. And it was just war from there. And it was like every other week it was like something. And I was always like, what the hell's going on here?
Dude, I genuinely miss it because don't get me wrong, I'm with you where I'm like, yeah, like sure, drama's bad, yeah, like people being hateful or spite filled is bad, chat hopping's bad, but dude, when it was like Chain Gang versus Penta versus like XQC versus Kyle, like dude, the amount of like just I don't know, dude. It was spicy. Like it was tea. That's why I realized it. And maybe it's because I've gotten older and the world has collapsed into the state that it's in now. Where my LA Kings still can't beat the Edmonton Oilers after
Starting the clock.
Sorry. They still can't beat the Edmonton Oilers after 4 consecutive playoffs, right? Like that's how bad the world is right now. I'm like, listen, a little bit of like people hating on each other in GTA, like it was at least like it was content.
I never followed the drama much. I just whatever popped up on my YouTube, and I read the title, and I was like, oh boy. But I never really followed it. So
I think what you're missing, Blau, like to like condense it more too, is I feel like back then there was more active storylines ongoing at the same time, right? And like right now it feels like there's like maybe like 1 or 2 big storylines, but that's it. But like back then there was like each part of the city had its own unique big storyline going on because there was like drama and beef between, these gangs, and that would lead to like these bigger arcs and stories. But it's not like that right now. You know what I mean? The city's kind of all in unison for the most part, and they're all kind of pushing towards a couple of big goals.
Yeah, no, I think that like we're almost missing that like inherent conflict between people. And another thing that I missed, I didn't talk about, is like we're also just missing a lot of good role players. So I'm curious for your thoughts on this, Travis. I'm like I'm mixed, right? It's like having now all these different servers, right? Because now we've had we've had Onyx and Prodigy and Purple, and there's been a few more I might be forgetting.
Purple / unscripted.
Oh, right. Purple's gone now. / unscripted, whatever. But like, so we've had a lot more of the. Oh, there was Ignite for a little bit too.
Oh yeah, Ignite.
So,
bro, that band.
did you go on there?
No. So that whole thing when Ignite dropped and everybody was like, yeah, fuck NoPixel. I'm going to Ignite. You can watch Windows over there and shit. And then everybody came back.
Okay, I'm gonna be so honest. When that came out and people were like already starting to be, because here's my thing. I'm like, dude, like, I don't think anyone. My take on is this: no one needs to be loyal to any specific server. But we should all be like respectful of everyone else's communities, dude. Like yeah, well, Ignite wants to do some cool stuff, dude. That's dope for them. I've seen Prodigy do some really cool shit.
Yeah. Yep. I play Prodigy time to time. And
yeah,
it's fun. And I always have a great time. Always.
Yeah, and when Ignite came out, I was like, yeah, like it's 80s RP. Of course I want to play it, like role play like an 80s surfers, dude. That sounds sick, right? I think it's fine to like enjoy all these. I hate the like server like dick measuring stuff. I don't like that.
Yeah, and
but
the thing is too is like when people want to join other servers, then you got that big like handful of people that like go on Twitter and start saying shit like, oh, like, yo, this is going to be the end of this server because of this server, and then they go, right? And then, they want to come back, but depending on what they said may have affected them, right? And it's just like, well, you kind of shot yourself in the foot there, guy. Like,
hi, Blau here. Unsolicited advice for any role players, whether they be new role players or very veteran role players. Do not talk shit about servers. Like, don't do it. Like, why would you like shit talk something where it's like you might play there one day or want to play there one day?
Unless they did some crazy shit, like one server that we will not talk about, but some crazy shit happened. We all know. I think everybody knows what I'm referring to. So, reason why I won't go play in a specific place anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
What is there tea?
Yeah, there's tea.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's tea. Oh yeah, there's tea.
I mean, like, yeah, like obviously, if they do something like just fucking heinous, like
bad, yeah, bad,
yeah,
but yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. There's only 2 servers I ever really play on anyway right now that I like that because like obviously NoPixel for like like it's very story driven right now and like we have a lot of like a lot of arcs that have been popping off and stuff like that. So like obviously it's like that's my main place to be. But like when I want to just go and like just do nothing but chaos and just mess around, I go to Prodigy and because it's so much fun there just to piss about. So like every server has their own vibe, right? It just depends on what vibe you're more into, right? Which determines where you play, in my opinion. So
yeah, it's kind of like because you'll have like some servers that are more like, hey, we're trying to do like a long-term story, or this server is like kind of more like action chaos oriented. I really want I want to see if there's I do want to try like to play on like a giga hardcore one, like the ultra fucking hardcore mode. Like that would be interesting. I don't know though. To me, I'm like, is it weird that I'm like I miss everyone being together,
No.
even if half the people hated the other
look,
half?
yeah, like people hated each other, but I'm the same way, bro. Because like I never hated no one, right? So just like it was nice to have them all in one spot because you get to see them all the time, and it opens way more doors with different types of roleplay that everybody was into at the time, right? So it was just like every day when you got on, bro. Like I think 3.0. Like the beginning and the middle of 3.0 was probably one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. Like dead ass serious.
Dude, I talk about this not even from like a like streaming content perspective, but just playing the video game. I remember like one of the first times I ever shot cops in 3.0 early on. I remember my hands shaking, and I felt like I had actually just like killed a fucking cop. Like, dude, I was terrified. And like, again, it's like one of those where I'm like, I know, like, yeah, I'll even bring up two examples. Like, dude, I remember like even the like Clean Boys versus CG like race to the casino shit was fucking crazy, right? And like those guys aren't around anymore. Or even, dude, I'll even say like when you were a crim early 3.0 and you got pulled over and Wrangler stepped out of the
Oh,
car, you were shitting bricks,
yeah.
dude. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
you're just like, I'm fucked. I'm fucked.
yeah, I'm fucked.
No, yeah, okay, look. There's always you can go on YouTube or Reddit and you can just punch in Randy Wrangler and you'll see a bunch of bad and a bunch of good, right? It's a very mixed things with things that he's done, right? But like with my experiences, loved it because I loved that like this guy is actually going to investigate you and like really try to screw you over, and I love stuff like that because like the way he went about and stuff like that was awesome, bro. Like it was no like having that fear that this guy like that guy would pull up on a scene is a fear you don't get anymore, right? And I miss that a lot.
Yeah, it's actually another topic that we can touch on because this is something I feel like I never had in 4.0. And it was, to be fair, it wasn't just Penta on Wrangler that kind of gave this vibe, but it was like those cops that like, and a lot of people were like, oh, there's like they would get like criticism for it. I like a mix of cops where like some of them are just really serious and don't like are you're actually afraid of them because of what they might investigate you. They're not going to take any of your bullshit. Like I miss the like, and I'm not saying they were good for, it's like you don't want them in like every scene, right? But I mean, even to speak of like of Penta and Wrangler, like that was my first court case on Mickey, and I had to, it was the self-defense meth court case.
Oh.
And it was so good. Like, and like, it was one of my favorite scenes. And by the way, that was because, and it was from him pushing charges and investigation in like an area where OOC he actually wasn't supposed to. It was like and like kind of like one of those dev events that they used to kind of put on.
Yeah.
It was up in Grapeseed actually. It's a giant like shootout in Grapeseed. It wasn't supposed to push charges, but it's Penta, so he doesn't care, so he does it anyways. But because he did that, like it was some of the best RP I got to have. So I miss the fear. I used to have more like fear of cops, of the law, and I don't have that anymore.
I mean, I do, but it's a different type of fear.
What's your fear now?
The fear now is just like, like when you're getting arrested and the process, like let's say you're down to like the process to go to the hospital, then go to the cells and get arrested. Is that cop gonna actually like role play with you or not, or is it just gonna be like quiet, right? I always get nervous with that because I'm just like I have a hard time with that because I can't just be quiet. Right, I like to talk. I like to mess around a little bit, like whatever. And then you sometimes get the cops just like, they're just not having it, and it's like, brother, it's a game, right? Like, come on, bro. But I don't know. Like, sometimes you get like in 3.0, there was a few cops like that. I was like, why are you here if you're not happy, right? Like, like. Well, what's going on in your head if you're on a roleplay server and you do not want to roleplay? Because I had one experience, and I'm not saying names or anything. This was a long time ago anyway, so no one will ever pin this down. But I was getting arrested, and I was roleplaying the guy, and the guy was just quiet on his MDT doing this, right? And he said two things with me, two things to me the entire time. One thing, he asked me if I was guilty or not and said, I'd be happy to go to court. That was it. The entire arrest. And it was 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Hate it.
Yeah, and I think like as a difference was like a hardline cop who would treat you oftentimes really poorly, but who would give you content was Kyle, right? Like Kyle on Kyle Pred. Like, yeah, and I think the thing is like when you played with Kyle, it's like Also, OOC, he is an asshole. Like, like everything about him, he's genuine. Awful person, by the way. Don't like him. OOC. But the thing about Kyle is like when he was doing it, like you could clearly, it's like the way he was being mean to your character really felt like he was trying to be that like hard ass cop, just being mean to you, right?
Yeah, he instigated a lot.
Yeah, and like I think the key is it's like people just need to then match that energy where you're like yelling back at the cop. And it's your character yelling, not you, the streamer yelling.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know. I think it's where that breakdown comes in, where it's like a little bit of the streamer slips in, and then from this person, the streamer slips in. And then all of a sudden, then you have those like, you know, famous like OOC clips of people just using the voice chat to shit talk each other, basically.
And look, man, this is obviously just my opinion, okay? But there is a big problem in the I'm not just saying this is NoPixel. I'm saying in the entire roleplay space, entire roleplay space, there is a problem with people not understanding separation between yourself and your character. There is a real big problem there. Not everybody has it, obviously, but there's a lot of people just like, dude, that's not you. Why are you getting so offended? It's not you. That is a character that does not exist. And my character does not exist. So what he says to you doesn't mean anything because he's not saying it to you. He's saying it to a character that does not exist. There's a lot of people that don't understand that, right? And they like actually take things to heart, and it's like, it's not real. It's fake. It's your character. That's characters they don't exist. Like, fuck, if somebody logs on one day, says, oh, so you're such an asshole. I hate talking to you every day. It's like, yeah, my character's a fucking lunatic. It's not me. It's just.
I think you're someone who can speak on this really well too, and I'm curious for your thought on this though. It's like you play a very obviously distinctive character. Your voice is different. Like literally, like I don't. It's like really hard to confuse, depressed Winnipeg Jets fan, father, jolly Canadian guy with literal psychopathic clown, high-pitched voice. Like, it's like, it's just so separate. But one thing that I think you do that I'm genuinely impressed by, and it is a small list of people who I really feel do this. And it's like you, like, people will name others, I'm sure, but like the two that recently I have come to mind are you and Buddha. You guys do a very distinct character, but can still play it consistently almost every day. What I learned is there were times where like I was playing Mickey and it just felt like I was self-inserting. And then I had to I'm serious. And I had to step back and then actually play Mickey as a character. But for me, it's like when I come into role play, I play different characters or I'm just not role playing as much. So my question is, how do you like maintain that level of separation while also doing it every day? Because one of my critiques to your point about people not separating their characters, dude, how can you, like Chatterbox, how can you expect some people to separate their characters if they're spending more of their waking hours in role play than in real life?
Fuck. I don't know. Like, dude, like, I don't, to me, it just, dude, I put like in 3.0, for example, I put a lot of hours as Chatterbox. There like, especially when I went full time, like it was like, when I was on my grind, it was like majority of my day. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, I just know it's not real. I don't understand how people don't look at it like that. Like, I don't care how much you play. When you're logging on, like, is your real name Mickey?
No. Wait, my real name is Nathan. You didn't know this?
No, I'm just asking you for.
Was that like hypothetical?
Right?
No, my real name's not Mickey.
No, my real name is not Chatterbox, right? Kirk Jerkums. That's not his real name. That's not Theo's name, right? Like, it's just
the difference between Kirk and Theo. When I met Theo like in person, I was like, oh, like you really fucking play a character.
Yeah,
and I hated the character. Like, not like me this story, like Mickey hated, Mickey and Kirk had a crazy arc against each other in 3.0 too. And then I met Theo and I was like, what the, like, this is the guy that was like antagonizing Mickey? Like, what the fuck? Like,
well, dude, the chat's trying to cook me right now saying, because Chatterbox's legal name is Jagger, right? But like, I don't role play like to saying that, going around every day referring to myself as Jagger, right? That's just like a different persona that I bring out sometimes to be a complete piece of shit, right? And obviously not me, right, doing it. And I have to like, I cringe at the things I have to say on there sometimes that are really mean. But like, dude, honestly, man, I can't answer your question because I don't understand like the other side of it. I just don't. Like, I don't understand how people can just not like I don't understand how people can lose like the reality that it's just not real. To me, it doesn't make sense because like,
okay, I have a follow-up question that will maybe help you answer it. What about people where, and I'll call one of them out by name, who is a self-insert, but I actually kind of like his self-inserting this. He's one of the co-owners of NoPixel. XQC is Jean Paul. Because so my brief take on this is, I think XQC himself,
the guy is a living character, bro.
is a living character, and I actually now, and I'll even say this though, I have seen it, like, you can literally look at him in like the early days of 3.0 and be like, oh, that was rough, versus some of the stuff he was doing in 4.0 or end of 3.0 and then 4.0, and like, he was role playing really well, even if again his character is more sort of self-inserty. He was doing a good job of still like keeping it in character in the world. So I'm curious if like, can you still find a balance, even because like, let's be honest, it's not that you're a character or you're a self-insert. You're like a range of those things, right? Like, anyone plays a character that is in a range, and at any given time they might have their own kind of like small little window within there about how charactery or self-inserty they are. So do you think that you're still able to play a self-insert kind of like that and add to the world?
I mean, yeah. It just, you just got to realize that what's happening in that world is not real, right? And it's not anything to do with you specifically as a person. It's just you choose who you want to play, right? But like, there has to be separation. If you can't separate, you shouldn't be role playing. Like, honestly, like, you just shouldn't be. Because that's where drama starts, bro. That's where drama always starts, is when people like are like, why are they saying that to me or doing this to me, right? But it's just like, why are you saying you're doing it to me? You're doing it to your character, right? That's like, I see a lot of people do that, and it's like, dude, that's where things are already starting to fucking come loose, because it ain't you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's also why like I typically encourage people to like, there's so many people where this is not, who, by the way, they're great role player. Many people, great role players or have great characters that don't follow this. But like, I'm with you. Just name your character something different, please, for the love of God.
You should. You should. Yeah. I mean, I technically didn't, right? But
no, I count yours. Yours is fine. Oh, as in like, like your character's name is Chatterbox and you, the streamer, are Chatterbox. Oh, no, I think yours is.
No, not that. My character's actual name is Jagger, right? But even if I did roleplay as that persona more, it would never affect me, because like, there's a clear difference, right? Like,
I don't think anyone has ever looked at your roleplay and thought that there wasn't like that clear distinction. I'm actually more like, for me, I'm more impressed that you have that clear distinction, right? Like, there's almost like, there's obviously many different like classes of good role players, but there's like the Burn class, where it's like Burn comes in, creates some new character, incredible voice, like makes you giga immersed for like 2 weeks, fucks off, comes back 2 months later with something new cooked up. There's that kind of, giga talented role player. And then there is like, I again, it's a short list. I honestly think it's the harder thing to do. It's kind of like what you and Buddha do, which is consistently play a character and long-term create stories out of them. And I know this because I have done both poorly, like dollar store version of Burn creating different characters and dollar store version of Buddha trying to do a long-term arc. The latter is harder, I think.
It depends who you have around you, in my opinion, right? Like you can't role play alone like half the time, right? Like if you want to do long-term stuff, you need people. You need people around you to do stuff with you to make it what it is, right? And I'm just fortunate because I have like a lot of really, really good, talented people around me that really add to stuff and help a lot. And
oh my God, he's humble
is,
too.
so.
Ooh. Sorry.
I'm serious though. I'm dead ass serious though. Like it's just like I got a good group around me, right? And you know, there's obviously hiccups along the way, right? And people like doing shit that's like sometimes you got to be like, hey,
is that a pun or like?
No, it was not a pun. It was not a pun. Fuck. Oh God.
That was great.
It was not a pun. It was not a pun. I was not referring to hiccups the character, okay? Leave me alone.
No, I think that's yeah, I mean like a lot of it is like not doing it alone, right? It's why it's really what I try to do is I try to find what I call pocket role players who I basically like they're kind of like it's like free labor for me. I like manipulate them and use them for cheap labor. So a pocket role player is like a really talented role player, but like they don't really have like aspirations for streaming or for a career. So you can kind of just use them for shit. And so you keep them kind of like tied to you at the hip, and they help you create really good scenes and make your role play a lot better. Yeah, it's like cheap labor.
Dimok, you all right, man?
Yes. Yeah. No, just thinking about them Oilers.
Can we actually just hear your thoughts about that?
Look.
Yeah, Dimok, what are your thoughts about pocket role players?
It's an interesting topic. Like, I will say that, like, I feel as though there is okay. I don't want to. I think Blau, I think you're a very talented role player. I think you are much better when you have other people who role play with you. You know what I mean? When you have people who buy into your ideas, I think it makes you like the best role player. You know what I mean? But like if it's just like Mickey like solo, I feel like it's like not the same as like Mickey with others. Like you're really good duo role player, if that makes sense. Like you find somebody and you can like create a lot of good content. So I think that like the pocket role player thing makes sense, but I also feel like that's just a role play style, right? Is like kind of this buddy dynamic, right? And I think that works really well for people. Like it's hard for me to play Breckers now without like having like Mickey or somebody there because it's like so much of his story is tied to that. And so much of his like role play kind of plays off that now. You know what I mean? It's harder to play him solo now than it was before. And I think that's fine. I just think that's a style of role play, right?
Yeah, no, I think in 4.0, I mean I'm joking. I think in 4.0 Mickey was carried by Breckers, 100%. Like as far as like allowing him to like do the kind of content I wanted to do.
I think it was like others too. Like I feel like it was like Breckers, but I also feel like, thinking about like the company and stuff, like I feel like when Mickey and Benji would be together too was like a whole different fun dynamic. You know what I mean? Like it was like very different than like Mickey Breckers, but there was so much of those like little team ups that were really interesting.
You're just a really like people person, right? And like no matter like who you're around, you make things really interesting, right? Like for you, dude, the skill that you have that I wish I had is just like you can put anybody in front of you, in front of Mickey, right? And Mickey will like, you always have something to say and you always know what to do and like you always have something, right? As to me, like I can't stand in a conversation with just anybody and kind of make it work. Sometimes I'm like, bye, I just take off, right? Because I'm not as big of a people person like you are, right? Like it's, I don't know, the way you play Mickey is very unique too. So like, I don't know, man. Like, I think Mickey is a very important part of the server right now, especially with the heists and all that stuff. I think your character is perfect for that, with the vibe and how dramatic he is and shit. It's the creme of the creme, bro.
Yeah.
Good. That actually brings up one of the other topics I wanted to touch on today, because we're in an interesting spot in the state of role play. you mentioned you have all these talented people around you, Chatterbox, to help you kind of do stuff more. I have something very important around me that lets me do what I do, and that is a dev panel. That's right. Being able to just cheat code shit into the game and doing stuff like that is awesome. And I want to say, I'm not going to pull punches with this take. I want to say that to everyone who was upset with my take a while ago about whitelists, you all fucking suck. You were wrong. I was right. Thank you so much. The key is, what I learned is you can't call them white. People didn't like this take a while back. I gave this take like almost like a year ago. People didn't.
Here's what I learned. What was the take?
I forgot. It was something about like why white. It was something about why whitelists were good. And then what I realized is that
are you saying the whitelist as in like, you know, like the dev panel being whitelisted to you in like certain jobs? Are you just saying in roleplay, like whitelist in roleplay?
So here, and to be fair, I mean, I'm being confrontational on purpose, but to be fair, what I meant by the take and what I sort of stand by now is this. I think whitelist has a bad connotation to it because of some things in 3.0. I really like having a few select people be given, whether it's dev panels, be given some access to something to promote roleplay almost more selflessly as like a way of like it basically. And the way we now call them is quest givers or dungeon masters. People say, right? Quest givers is like what people really love. What people I don't think liked were the whitelists given to people that were more about like, they were almost like MMO whitelists and not roleplay whitelists. They were like, I have the ability to create thermite, which is the gate. I can gatekeep who gets to go to the next bank, and you have to. And like my character now gets to just make extra money because I'm the one who can make this specific thing. That is the kind of whitelist I don't. Or when people are like, hey, my gang happens to own this restaurant and print money from it. That kind of whitelist, I don't think people like.
Yeah,
and I agree with that.
I do as well. Look, this is just obviously my opinion, Chad. So everything I'm saying, just take it with a grain of salt here. All right, like I don't know the answers to everything here. This is just my opinion, how I feel. But like, I believe in the you use it or lose it mentality. And if you're like, let's say for example, okay, 3.0 burger shot. Okay, you if you don't want to use it, you lose it. And if you're not using it properly, like if you're not doing everything in your power to make sure that it stays like busy and things are happening there and stuff like that, it should be taken away from you and just given to somebody else that's going to do it, right? Like you shouldn't, if you're given the burger shot or given a restaurant, you're not entitled to keep that no matter what.
Yes.
It should be removed from you at any time if you are not meeting expectations with it through roleplay. Like,
yeah, and both these things can be true. That soda popping on Kevin Whippaloo, giving him burger shot was one of the best ideas. Fucking amazing idea. That was awesome. Also, take it away from him when he's bored of roleplay. Like that's fine. Like I think we should be okay being like, this is the idea I always pitched. I just think it'd be hilarious. I've always wanted like Will Neff to come into the server on his movie director character, James Marco St. Marco. And I, by the way, if he ever wants to do this before GTA 6 launches, whether it's in 4.0 or in the next version of NoPixel, I will be the dev that I will spawn in $5 million. $5 million, I'll put it right into his character's bank account and I'll give him $5 million and let him just make a movie. I think that's fucking sick. I think the amount of, I'm just imagining the amount of role and be like, why does he get $5 million? Yeah, because it's Will Neff, dude. And you know he's going to do the most he's going to create so much role play, hiring a casting director, hiring lighting. Like it's going to be the best content ever.
And it's not going to go towards, you know, just being the almighty powerful, like, gang or something in the city, right? Like
I give Will Neff $5 million, comes in. How many class 2s can I buy with this? Right? Like, that'd be crazy. That'd be insane, right? Like, I wonder how many AKs I can purchase. How many full kits? Let's go to war. Like that'd be insane, right?
Dude, you know how like in 3.0 there was an issue with the economy, like everybody was too rich and getting bored, and like it was just everybody had too much, right? And
Yeah.
everybody's like, oh, we need an update every like 6 months. Like people are like starting to say things like that because whatever. I always had an idea that was just kind of like, look, if you're getting bored and you're making people have too much. Here's a good example. You know that zombie event they did?
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
Bro, you throw one of those and you basically just do an economy reset because infection has spread, people were sick, everything collapsed, and everybody's starting from square one again. You don't even have to do a massive update. You could just, kind of do soft resets like that. Everybody's banks got drained, like it's just.
I'm super down for more like things like that, where it's like events that cause an economic reset, or even just like some of this stuff. Like now, granted, I do think me and Capt need to like sync up like our mission days so that we don't have them overlap. That was hilarious, but even the fact of like instead of like having dev resources going towards giant updates, right? You can just have events that occur in the city to spice things up, and some of them can cause a collapse. Yeah,
it would change everything. Like if they like it's really smart what they did with you guys. Like you and Capt both have access to do this kind of stuff, right? And it's been really, really nice. Like there's a lot. It looks like there's a lot more happening, right? And then there's that pestilence, the guy that's doing the plague and stuff like that, right? It's just there's so much other things going around that's cool, right? And entertaining. If we didn't have that stuff, server would not be as interesting as it is right now.
Right, and it's like what's cool is it's like the NoPixel devs are probably cooking on whatever the next server is, or on some big update. So the devs are cooking on that stuff.
Yep.
And then you just get some people who are just making some shit happen, And the other thing is like I don't think it's like I think the downside of it is like, okay, if you give everyone and their mother like a dev panel, or if like people like overdo it, shit will go crazy. But I think that's why it's like you kind of like it's a few people, and like and the other thing is like look at how different it is. Like I feel like pestilence and then like the faceless arc, like those are like much more kind of like longer, slow burn, like bigger things.
Yeah.
I use my panel much more for like either like one-off kind of like week-long story arcs of like it's just a heist being like a big job being set up.
Yeah.
More of like a short action movie as opposed to a long TV. I think as long as you don't like overload it where it's like happening every day and there's like a good break between stuff, I think it's just a really good way to spice up the servers.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives people things to look forward to. It's really refreshing. Like, dude, like you just like you hook like Mickey set up Chatterbox with those 6 extra AKs, changed everything, dude. It actually just saved the entire day because like we just didn't have enough, and like some clowns are grinding and stuff like that. It was hard. And it made the day what it was, bro. Like, it was like, it changed everything for that whole mime war, whatever, on that day. And with the cops attacking, which was like really crazy. It was insane.
I think, yeah. And I think as long as people, whether it be viewers or the role players themselves, as long as people are okay with like we just have to like kind of like all check our egos and just be okay with like, hey, like for some events or for some things, some people are going to get some special treatment, and that's okay. I will also die on the hill that if I still had this admin menu and you could send me back in time to the start of 4.0, I would have dropped a couple $1 million into Vivek Ramaswamy's bank account as a donation from a Republican super PAC. and like you're telling me Squeaks wouldn't have just done some of the funniest fucking RP with that? The fact that Squeaks at some point, and I forgot who the girl was who was she was helping him so much with it.
That was Law's dog. She was playing Lilith.
Oh my God, Lilith. Yes, dude. So phenomenal. The fact that I'm pretty sure, I know she had to, and I think even Squeaks helped her. She was off stream grinding just so that they could afford money to rent a car to be able to just go around and do their like, I'm like, dude. I would have given them the fucking money and just because again, it's like
they're using it for some great RP, right? Like it's just
and it's like and then what's interesting is then everyone else who is grinding G6 maybe some of those people wouldn't have been grinding G6, would have been employed by the Ramaswamy campaign and would have been making their money that way. And it would have just added to the RP, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's great to have the underlying systems like G6, like all the gang stuff. But like, I think it's also good to just, what I'm trying to say here is I'm going to find someone to just put a couple $1 million in their account today. After this podcast, and just go find someone, just go give them a couple million.
No, that's all right. I got you. State ID 91148.
I'm not giving it to you. I'm not giving it to you.
Come on, man. Pocket role player, remember? Come on.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know, like it's the grinding is what kills roleplay. And look, I kind of understand the vision of 4.0. Like I understand what they were trying to do, and I respect the efforts and things the work they put in, believe me. But it just, in my opinion, was not the right vision. Like it wasn't it. Like it was too much. It was too much, and it was very hard for characters. It was good for the grinders. It was good for people that like to make money and do mechanics, but it was terrible for the role player because it made things awful to do stuff just to survive on the day to day. Like it was the first 5 months were really hard. Like now, it was really, really hard.
Yeah. Now, what's funny though is on the flip side, I feel like now the state of the server is like if I was to play devil's advocate, though, right? I think someone could actually look at the server and be like, well, yeah, the server's really good. The role play is good now. If you're involved in any of these arcs, or if, one of the scarce people with the dev panels are, creating some cool role play for your character, then it's really good, right? Which is why, though, that I think having the base underlying systems and the base things for people to do in absence of some bigger arc is still important, right?
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people do like to do the grind and stuff. It's just the way it is. Do you think a lot of people, I'm curious what your thoughts on this. What about like, how do you genuinely feel? Because I feel like a lot of not all, but like a decent amount of like kind of gang RP is kind of like, okay, it's low key. Like it's like if I was to put myself, Nathan Blau, like in the world of GTA and be like a criminal gangster, but now I'm like really cool and I have abs and a class 2 gun on my back and I'm shirtless type shit. And I talk like I'm 10 years younger than I actually am. I feel like a lot of people kind of use GTA roleplay as a way to live out that fantasy. Thoughts?
I don't want to talk about that. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to skip that one, brother.
We're going to skip that one?
I have to skip. I'm going to...
Look.
I gotta not talk about that.
Hey, to be fair, I get it. Like it's kind of cool to like listen, as an example, when I played Mass Effect, I tried to create my Shepard to look like me, and like, it was like I liked the idea of me in the fantasy world of Mass Effect saving the universe from the Reapers. Like that was kind of cool.
Yeah, but
So
you're following a storyline there, right? You're not creating your own, right? Very dangerous place to do that, in a place that you can direct yourself in any way you want when you're trying to live out that kind of That's when you get, oh my God, I don't want to.
Well, I'll say to like further Blau's point, I think to like kind of explain it is like, I do think like in any version of roleplay, right? If you even look at like tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, there's always going to be a little bit of empowerment fantasy in there, right? Because why would you want to roleplay as something that like, that isn't, I mean, there's multiple ways to look at it, but some people will be like, I want to roleplay something that's like a cooler version of me, or like the version of me I want to be, or like maybe what if I was like this? I think that's how some players view it. And I think that's true with GTA roleplay as well. I definitely think some people create characters because they're like, this is who, like, ideally who I'd want to be in, like, this setting or this environment, or like perfectly. Not saying everyone does it, but there's people who do it out there.
And that's where you get the problem as to where it's just like you become attached to that character, and everything that happens to that character matters way too much because now you're attached and you forget that there's separation there. Hence, we get problems to the self-insert problems and people taking things personally. And we get those weird relationship RP stuff that ruin relationship RP for people that just want to do it as stories and actual good content and stuff like that. So you get all that shit. And those people doing that ruin shit for everybody else. And it pisses me off. My opinion. Sorry.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. No, I agree. I think honestly, I think just to further that, I think like one of my big things is that I wish there was more awareness around the idea that role play is role play. And I also wish that more people would as well keep that in mind whenever they are in character, but also like I do feel like more OOC talk should happen, especially when role play happens that makes you uncomfortable or like is just weird shit. Like I feel like we should honestly be talking, like calling that out more as role players to each other. Not necessarily like, publicly, but like, I feel like it's something that we should feel more comfortable to like go to another role player and be like, "Yo, that shit's not okay." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like that's like I look if let's say for the clown group, for example, if they do something shitty or something that's like that I notice is bad, I DM them right away and be like, it's you stop now or you're like we're not role playing together ever again. Like it's everybody understands that in like our group, and it's like every group should do that, right? Because here's another problem. If you have a group like this happens, these gangs especially, right? You always have that one person that's like the top of the gang that everybody looks at, right? Your Mr. K's, your Langs, your Raymond Romanovs, right? Like those people, right? If somebody in your gang does something
Well, first
shitty,
of all, in the Clean Boys, Mickey was actually the leader.
Okay, well, and your Mickey's, okay.
No, we made Mickey the leader just to piss off Ray. Like, everyone knows this. That was the lore. It was to piss off Ray Romanoff. Everyone knows that.
Well,
let's continue.
So if something happens, people are not going to look at just that person, right? They're going to look at, it's going to go up the ladder and look at, well, why is Chatterbox letting this happen? And it's just like, I learned that very quickly in 4.0 here. And I was like, yeah, I ain't doing this shit anymore. So I just kind of became kind of I wouldn't say like a dick, but yeah, I was kind of a dick, right? Like, like now we have a Discord with all the clowns in it. And if something bad happens, it's like, it goes there right away and everybody sees it. And it's like, you can't do this. Don't fucking do that, right? And everybody's like, okay. And it's normally nothing ever happens like it again, right? Instead of protecting your group, right, which a lot of people do is they got to protect our group, right? It's just like, nah, dude, like, it's just like if you can't go out of your way to protect your group, if they're not being right, they're not respecting you either, right? That's kind of like there's kind of because you're getting looked at in a bad light too. So it's just like everybody needs to respect each other and just do the right shit, right? Yeah, I don't know. I could go on for hours about this shit because like
no, I actually I really like that take that like if you are especially like because again it's like the privilege both of whether it's in character or even like the OOC influence of having like the bigger community or more viewers, right? If you are the leader, whether it be sort of in character or even OOC sort of in spirit, taking responsibility for that group as opposed to just, it's like obviously, defend them when you need to defend them from whatever things, but it's like, no, also, but like, cleaning house and making sure that like you're holding them to that higher standard. I mean, actually, I love that you said that you did that. We've never really talked about, I don't think I've ever really talked about this publicly, but Dimo can actually kind of vouch for this. When the company started, I was really strict, and I would put this in the Discord. I was like, I'll literally just fire you in character and then just kick you out of this OOC if we find you doing anything weird. Like, we were very strict. Yeah, we were very strict about that.
Yeah.
Which is again, and obviously like, and then I had some problematic role players, right? Crystal, Demo gave me a lot of, they were,
I think
tough to work with them, but
I think that's all roleplay too. I feel like his roleplay is like a medium where we're always like creating new stuff, and things can quickly get into a point where it gets comfortable or weird. I mean, it's true for like tabletop games too, right? And in the leadership position there, it's like the dungeon master, the game master, right, is the one who's like controlling it and making sure that like if something makes somebody uncomfortable, they shut it down.
Yeah.
They talk about it, whatever. So it's like that can be applied to NoPixel was like the leaders, right? They're like the ones who kind of navigating the roleplay. They're the ones who should also be held, hold the group accountable for things that are said and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
And I also think it's funny because in role play, I am strongly of the belief that like a lot, like I'm not gonna say everything is okay in role play, but most things are actually okay in role play, depending on the context of who's involved in your relationship with them and your comfort with them, right? Like the way I'd say is like, dude, like you wouldn't go to an improv comedy night where you're meeting people for the first time and do improv comedy and say some unhinged shit if you don't know those people, right? Meanwhile, as a counterpoint though, if anyone's ever watched like, it's not GTA role play, but like we were doing like we did Schedule 1 role play with me, Kyle, and Jenny. We say like there are things that me and Kyle say, especially with Jenny, being a woman. What is it because I'm a woman? Like we'll say some shit with Jenny that I would not say with other like women role players, right? We say some fucked up shit, all three of us, right? But it's because it's like that's because we've built up that relationship, that comfort, and that trust, and we know that if we ever cross a line, we're comfortable enough to like DM each other. It's like you definitely don't want to go pushing those boundaries with people that you don't know.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, it's kind of like going back to like reading the room kind of things too, right? With who you're role playing with. Yeah. And it kind of backing up a little bit back to like the whole if you're like people being uncomfortable and being able to reach out to them and stuff like that. Like yeah, like because sometimes how are you gonna know if somebody like let's say you're role playing on NoPixel, how are you gonna know if somebody's like for me example, let's say you and me are role playing together. I'm not comfortable with stuff you're doing. If I don't reach out to you, how are you gonna know if I'm not giving you any signs that I'm not comfortable with it? You know what I mean? That is also a thing too, right? Because like there's been like 2 or 3 times since I started role playing on GTA in 2019, and I've only twice ever had to like DM somebody and being like, "Yo, what's going on with this?" Because I like was like kind of weirded out by a couple of things, right? Because I didn't understand, especially at the time, I didn't understand like how serious it was or not, and made things way better because it was just like, "Oh no, and it was explained to me. I'm like, "Oh, I get it." At the time that I was learning, right? But if I never would have did that, I would have just been like put off the entire time and would have been weirded out by that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're also like, there's like a little bit of hesitant, like you're like a little bit of like, oh, I don't even know if this is gonna work out. Like I think a lot of people are just a little hesitant to do it. It's like it's kind of an uncomfortable thing. Once you've done it, you realize that it's not that deep.
Yeah.
I literally, bro, me and Kevin, I think we've both you said this before. Me and Kevin had to like hash some shit out from shit that happened between like Mickey and CG, and me and Kevin like chatted it out in the DMs, and it was like after doing that, I was like, oh wait, this isn't that deep, like whatever, and like and moved on from there, and then have since made great role play, right? So I think a lot of times you just have to be okay, like
Yeah.
even it doesn't matter if it's some smaller streamer, doesn't matter if it's like a Buddha or a Kevin, like you just chat it out, and then now counter take to play devil's advocate. What if I just instead like go like the fuck? Really? And then hold up the whatever the U key is to pull up the numbers, and I pull up the numbers for like 20 seconds and then take a screenshot audibly so that my chat hears it, and then just be like, whatever, chat, and then move on with my day, and then don't actually report them, but just kind of do it for like performative reasons. How do you feel about that?
God.
I'm kidding. We don't do that. I'm kidding. That's crazy. Wild.
That is fucking cool. That's crazy.
You guys don't like that? Is that not okay?
It's
The
like,
best is you forgot the part
oh,
where they take the screenshot and go, that was kind of weird, chat, right? Kind of weird.
Nikita's a giant. I
I
have
have
feelings
never
about that.
once ever reported somebody or even held you to report somebody. Like, I've never once done that. Not once.
Also, like, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I can't speak to like all of the admins on every single server. I will say at least from the one that I have the most. I'm gonna out myself. Nikita knows this is trying. I'll say, okay, I know how NoPixel's admin system works. I actually think they do a really good job. I actually really like NoPixel's admins. I think they do a phenomenal job, and I know this because I was a part of them and did nothing. Absolutely nothing.
What was the point, Blau? What was the point?
Okay.
What was the point of being an admin then?
Okay. And okay.
Power trip. The power trip.
That's, you know what's funny? This is the worst part. I didn't even power trip with it. I was so useless that I didn't even abuse the power. And Nikita maybe can, Nikita, if you ever want to like give your perspective on my brief stint as an admin, my understanding was this, right? Like, I think that what had happened was like, I had maybe said, I had said some things about like, I don't know. I guess I had given some good takes about how I want people to roll, but whatever. Han or Coil saw him there. You know what? Hey, this Blau guy, he seems like he'd actually make for like a good admin as like a newer person. They reached out to me with it. I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I'll do that. In my defense, they made me admin right before the Clean Boys versus CG like casino heist arc. So not only was I like, I was grinding at Uwu Cafe to just pay to be able to fucking do that. I was playing the most GTA I had ever had. I think I was streaming like 200 hours a month. So it was the most busy I've been streaming. And then, and by the way, and this is not to like leak how like the admin system works, but like, and they were really fair about it. I was like, they'd be like, hey, like, yeah, hey there. And people know about this team now, but it was like, they'd be like, hey, like, ports, there's like, you know, there's some meta gaming going on. It's CG versus CB. It's like, admins, we need you guys to weigh in. And I come in like, hey guys, I can't weigh in on this. It's like, I remember there were like important admin decisions that needed to be, there was like maybe like 5 or 6 in a row where I just had to be like, I can't weigh in. Or when I did weigh in, I don't know, Nikita, if you remember this, I would weigh in and I'd be that guy that was like, no comments to add on my end. Like, I would like.
You just noped out of everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was really.
Wow.
I was in my defense. I was really bad. And then they were like, and by the way, I was admin for a few months, and then they're like, hey, like, we're gonna. They were really chill. They were chill about it too. I think Han literally messaged me like, hey, like, you're clearly very, very busy. Like, we're gonna have you like step down as admin. I was like, yeah, man, I just haven't been able to. Bro, Coil roasted me for it later. Coil was literally just on stream, was like, yeah, Blau did nothing. And it's true. I will never defend that I did anything as an admin. But that's how I know that the admins on NoPixel genuinely do a lot of work and like
I
are
could
really
never do
good.
it. I could never do
Yeah.
it. I just know there's no chance.
Bro, me too. I tried, could never do it.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That was, I mean, even now it's like I'm like the responsibilities given to me with a, you know, admin panel or dev. My responsibilities are to go and create cool bank heists, which is like what I do on my character anyways. But it's like now I can like zoom out, go into ghost mode, and like, you know, design shit. Like I can do that. Having me like balance the like player to player interactions on the server, I can't do it.
Honestly,
that is hard.
One day, I hope that management just gonna be like, all right, we're gonna give a new kind of rank to a couple of really like trusted long-term people that have been here and cause no problems, something like that, that can help, and not just be an admin thing, that can help gauge who can get prior or not, that actively play and interact with people. That would be such a good thing to have for somebody in the server that plays consistently, that will not abuse it, obviously. And that finding something like that is obviously the tough part, right? But like people joining the server, especially new people, it's hard to get recognized for the good that you do, right? For the effort that you put in. A lot of people only get recognized if you're hanging out with certain people, because a lot of the people that can give out priority are kind of, I don't know, what I've always found to be clicked up in some sort of way, right? Or you're a cop. It's not easy for everybody to get recognized, right? So giving it out to a couple more people that you obviously need to know that are not going to be, I'm just going to give this to my friends kind of thing, right? Would be a really good way for a lot of role players to like actually be rewarded for putting in good effort, because we have lost shitloads of really talented, good role players because of the priority issue when the queue was bad, because they didn't want to join queue anymore because it was just too hard to get into the server, right? So they went out. They probably just went out other places, right? A lot of really great people that I never saw again, only seeing them 1 or 2 times because I knew that they had issues with the queue. Look, people like that would make a huge difference, in my opinion, because you'd see more really good role players more often than not.
Yeah, so it's like, it's basically like they wouldn't be admins. They would basically just be like, it's just like a special like privilege. Maybe it's like they have like a channel in like one of the Discords where it's like a small handful of like consistent role players who can basically just ping and be like, yo, ran into this person, phenomenal, give them a little bump in prio, like they were great.
Yeah.
And I feel
they
like
don't have to be like, oh, I'm going to give this guy, like, I don't know how the levels work, but like high level, you start them off slow. Like you give them chances, right? They go around, they always check people. If people are doing it, you check their prio and see how they're doing, and then you could just gradually keep putting it up, right? You don't just throw a number 5 or 6, whatever it is, at them to get them up in that line, right? You build people up, and you need more. Obviously, I think you need more people like looking at the people that do not put effort and are shitty, and to put people down if they need it, right? Wake people up a little bit.
Yeah, the other thing is that I think you'd want to do it like, you'd also just keep whoever does that like completely secret, like no one knows, right? Because like, obviously there's obvious people who could grant you prio, right, that you could go to and try to like put on your like best behavior for. But I like the idea that it's like you might not know who it is who's like able to give you that power. Like that could be really, it's completely sort of anonymous, right, of like who it does it.
Yeah. I mean, unless they stream, because that would make things tough, right? Because then you can't do anything on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, they note it down for later.
They could note it down. Yeah, they could press down the U button, see the numbers pop up, and
screenshot
and screenshot it, and then say, "Oh my God, I was right! I was cooking this whole time."
You could totally change the vibe between, is this guy getting banned or is this guy getting prio?
Wait, that's such a good idea. Oh my God, I actually cooked with that. Holy shit.
So I don't know, yeah. Like that's one thing that I'm always gonna be like, very like, please one day happen, because what a difference I think it'd make. They should at least try it. You know what I mean? At least try. Like, I mean, they've tried all these different things, like, the +1 people, like that doesn't work. I don't think that works at all. I'm gonna be real, because people got to go through that, right? And like, look at that. Like you have to +1 this person. You have to write out like, oh, this person's like so good, whatever. Like, there's that. I really don't think that, like, in my opinion, I don't know if it makes much of a difference or not. I don't even know if it's actively used. Because,
well, I mean, it's also just like, it's also, I think, just kind of like scaling things a little bit more, where it's like, I feel like NoPixel and probably some of the other servers are also in a place now where they could look at a few people and be like, hey, we can trust these people to like help curate good vibes for us, right?
Yeah.
And they should be fine doing that, right?
You'd hope. One day I hope they do it. One day. I've always like had this opinion for a long time, and maybe 5.0 devs, right? 5.0 new things,
Ooh, that does come up to my next topic. I feel like I'm hearing updates from different servers. What's NoPixel cooking? Like, what are we waiting? What's going on? What are we waiting on here? What do you want to see happen? Because they're obviously cooking something.
With the update? Like with the 5.0
Either
update? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm hoping that when are they gonna? Yeah, we got a GTA 6 locked in date before we know when 5.0 is, right? Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, what the fuck? Look, I
have to assume that 5.0 comes before, because here's the other thing that people don't realize about GTA 6, right? GTA 6 is gonna come out, but that's not GTA 6 RP, right? Like, we're gonna wait. We're gonna have to wait for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, because like 5M won't be, like, they have to make like another. I don't know. I think Rockstar mentioned they were. I don't know.
I'll leak it right now, guys. I secretly work for Rockstar. That's why I launched the Roleplay Podcast on the same. Is it not a coincidence that we do the Roleplay Podcast on the same day that they tweet out the GTA 6 date? Clearly, I secretly work for Rockstar, so I can tell you guys that exactly 1 year and 3 months after GTA 6 launches is when we'll get GTA 6 roleplay.
That's why it's taking so long, because you didn't do shit as a NoPixel admin, and you probably ain't doing shit.
That's
why that's why it's delayed. Is because I also work for the guys. I am hi, my name's Nathan Rockstar. God, dude, imagine. I would have way more aura if I could say I worked for Rockstar than I worked for Riot Games.
I'd finally respect you, to be honest.
Oh, fuck.
You did work for Riot, huh?
Company. Yeah, I did.
Didn't Riot Fortnite? Isn't that what that is? Isn't that the company? Oh no, that's Epic. Oh, Riot's Valorant. Ah. Look, chat, I don't like either of these games, all right? I suffer with both of them. Hey, can you get your job back with Riot, please? Because we need a Chatterbox skin in Valo.
That I don't know about that one. Also, it's so crazy to me that you know Riot as Valorant and not League of.
I have never played League of Legends in my entire life. I think my Discord just crashed.
No, I think it was Blau.
That is
it was Blau's? Okay.
Hello, hi, I cut out there.
He's back.
You said something about League?
I'm back.
You said something about League?
Yeah, no, I'm saying, I can't believe you didn't know that Riot was League. Like, that's how I would know Riot.
I have never. I barely even know what League is. Like, I don't even know. Like, I just saw, like, I've seen people play. Like, it's like people running around like the bird's eye view thing. And
League of Legends podcast.
They're like
go.
shooting superpower things at people. That's all I know.
Oh, Shaco main right here. Actually, yeah. There's a clown that you could play. But
so we're playing League what?
No. We don't. No.
Why am I getting the boomer emote? Isn't that an old game?
Yeah, that's why it's like. Wait. Also, I have a crazy. Didn't we learn that I'm older than you?
I believe we did. I'm 29 years young.
That is wild.
What do you mean? Why are you so shocked?
Then they call you old at 29?
Oh yeah, bro.
I turned 34 this year.
You turned 34 this year, bro. I feel like I'm in my 40s because I got 2 kids and.
Yeah, wait. I feel like I'm in my 20s. I'm. Oh my god. Okay, Timoke. I know. Don't add this to the timer, but I want you to know I did look into, though. I looked into Winnipeg hockey camps and Vancouver hockey camps.
Starting the clock.
And Chatterbox literally told me, he's like, dude, just don't, in the summer, just go to Vancouver.
Just go to Vancouver. Yeah, just go to. So, I'm gonna be real, bro. Just go to Vancouver. Save yourself.
Moving on.
Okay, moving on. By the way, I got accepted to one of the camps in Vancouver, so I'm going to hockey camp Vancouver.
Congrats, bro.
Thank you. Anyways, I have to grab some coffee while I'm doing that. I want to know. Okay, because we've been covering sort of the state of GTA roleplay. We've been covering all the stuff, catching up on things. What do you want to see? What do you want to see next? Whether it be in 5.0, Prodigy 3.0, Onyx 2.0, whatever server it ends up being. What do you want to see next in roleplay? Go while I grab coffee.
That's a loaded question. This guy just did it to me. Oh my god.
Yeah, he
That's
did
a
it, and now you
loaded-ass
gotta
question.
answer it.
Oh my god. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know. I want to see less focus on gang RP. And just
I
more
agree with that.
let's more focus on the general like stuff. If you want to build mechanics, put it in the generals and less clicks, right? More options with your cellular devices, group chats, also it's stuff that's like, it's just take away the grinding and add more like different mechanics that are more convenient to the role player, like apps and stuff like that, right? Like your dude, this is the one thing that every server fails on. Every fucking server fails on this. Dimok, you'll probably appreciate this one.
Yeah.
The news RP, Weasel News, LSBN. It's so no love given to that, and I think that is one of the most important parts of civilian roleplay is the news. News RP could go so hard, dude. It could go so hard if they actually put the love into it, right, and gave actual good stuff to it. And when I say that, I mean, and also a rule. A small rule for the police. You want to be a cop? Whoever's lead on a scene, if they rob the casino, if the vault, if petty crimes happen, one cop has to stay on scene after and give they have to do a report. They got to talk to the press. Exactly. They have to.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be allowed just to skip that shit. Because, this has always been my opinion. I've never role-played a cop, so a lot of cop role players or viewers will probably hate me for saying this, but if you're being a cop, you are opting in to deal with everything. You're opting in to deal with different characters, more serious, goofy. You're to read the rooms in every situation you go into and not bitch about it. You are opting in for that. You're getting a cop prio. You're getting your own queue. You're getting into the server. You are opting in to do all that stuff, and
you also get the great privilege of that people don't realize that when you are a cop, content and role play is given to you. You don't have to go and make it.
Yeah.
Which is actually a huge privilege. Yeah. However, as a long-time, multi-year crim player, but absolute cop apologist, I will also say this. Dude, the cops just get treated like shit sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm a cop apologist. And I'll also say this. I think you have to, if you're a cop, yeah, I agree. It's like you have to be okay treating situations seriously, treating situations more goofy and like a little bit more chill because you're interacting with any different number of people. Don't make them write reports. Report to the press is awesome. I genuinely think we need to stop cop paperwork and let cops role play. I think paperwork's the dumbest thing ever.
There is obviously a point to the paperwork though, right? Obviously there's a point.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a way to limit the paperwork to the bigger things that happen instead of just everything.
Here's my take. Paperwork RP, the cop investigating RP, like investigation RP and paperwork RP should be opt-in by the cop. The cop should want to do that and build up a case against someone, and then that's what goes to court. Otherwise, if you want to do court RP off a bench trial, we don't need to have a fucking written report. It should just be a way lower standard of evidence. Like bench trials should just be way lower standard and just be all testimony based. And that way people don't have to be screenshotting this, collecting evidence. I feel like, and this is as someone whenever I play Clay Kona, I love traffic stops. I love doing cop role play until I have to write a report and then I check out of it. I just can't do it. It's just so awful.
That's the only reason why I'll never be a cop is because I can't do reports. I'm not good at typing and stuff either. Like I just can't do that. Like my brain, I want to go there to role play and that's it. And if I can't do that, I'm not doing it. But I also know that cops get treated negatively because when I did do, I was a cadet once in 3.0 and I went around, I think I did 3 shifts as a cadet and I went around, I was experiencing it firsthand. Like, you know, some people run into are great, but like, then you run into other people and you're like, dude, what was that? Like, what was that? And that brings me back to, if you have some people floating around the server with the ability to bump you up or lower you down, you know, and you're not role playing, you're just being a bad word, you know, you're just being an ass, you're going to lose prio. Your prio is going to slowly go down because you're being shit. You know what I mean? Because people get too comfortable, right? Especially, like, people don't like cops. They're already comfortable. They got prio. I don't give a fuck. I don't like this cop. I'm going to be a dick. I'm going to be an asshole. That happens a lot, right? And they treat cops like shit. Well, I don't care if you like him or not. You're on a role play server to role play. Whether you like him or not, you still got to role play. And if you're not, well, why are you at a higher priority than somebody else waiting in line that wants to get into role play? You know what I mean? People should never get too comfortable, because when you get that comfortable is when people get so fucking lazy, and which brings us to the results that we get after a long term of time when nobody's doing anything, everybody's entitled and lazy, and that's kind of where we got. So
I also you said something in there that I'm curious your take on, because this is something I see it echoed on, like, I see it echoed on a lot of the platforms like Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube, that there's almost this idea that, like, the longer you role play, the, like, better you are as a role player or something like that. Where it's like, oh, yo, they've been grinding. They're grinding. They're showing up every day. My message to all role players, new and veteran, I don't fucking care how much you show up. Granted, I will say the people who do show up every day and do good role play, that does matter, yes. But the thing that I care about before that is, are you doing good role play when you show up? There's some people where I only see them once in a blue moon and they're phenomenal. Burn comes around like Father Christmas every now and then and just drops incredible RP on us, right?
Ain't no one does it like him, dude. It's insane.
True.
Yeah.
That guy is wow.
And I feel like sometimes people overvalue, like, the grind, where I'm like, okay, but it's okay to also take a break, come around and be refreshed, right? Like, it's okay to, you know, not, I don't know. I feel like when some people are, like, doing it almost too much, that's when they slip into those, like, tendencies of being lazier, of, like, being like a self-insert, etc.
Yeah. Yeah. But listen, dude, if you always have that thing creeping up on you, like, how's my priority level? If that was always in your mind, it would change the way you think when you're actually on there. Because you don't want that priority level to go down. You want to stay where it is or go up. If you're thinking about losing that, you're obviously going to put a little bit more effort, right? And you're not going to be that lazy because there's something on the line.
Do you know, okay, hot take. Do you know what I think is going to change roleplay right now? At least, actually, I would even say even other servers are going to, okay, NoPixel especially is going to see a huge increase in its roleplay. And I even think other servers are as well. And all it's going to take is developers reveal one secret trick. Our peers hate them. All right. This is the one weird trick. If they just announce 5.0 or, like, give us a day or just, like, give us a crumb, because they said it's invite only.
Yeah.
They're completely redoing the whitelist. Everything's cleared. Yep. It is now you are invited or not. That is when all of a sudden it's like, from when they announce to when whatever the date is that it drops, that is a window of basically open audition.
Yep.
Show people what you can do. And Nikita, if you're still in the chat, take notes on this, because I think this would be sick. That is the perfect time to give a few, like, trusted people that they already know that they're going to invite, who they, like, know will curate good vibes. give those people the ability to like recommend some invites to some smaller people. Like, yo, trust, we need this person in 5.0. They're killing it. That would be sick.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Nikita's like, why me? Why me?
I know that like at the end of servers, sometimes like weird shit happens. I actually do think that I think NoPixel was smart in doing that, of being like, hey, we're clearing everything and it's going to be invite only. I feel like it means that I actually am really excited for like the ending of 4.0 because I think it's going to drive people to roleplay really well to try to get those invite spots. That's my hope, at least.
Look, when it was originally leaked that there was going to be invite only, there already was that like couple of weeks that I'm like, whoa, server's full, and there's a lot of people you don't really see often, and it lasted for a little while, right? So you're absolutely right, because when it's actually officially put on the line and on the table of when it's coming out, yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
Side note, my favorite thing is it's like a really dumb OST joke. I love when someone's like, I don't know, this is a horrible thing to like as a joke too. I realize this is shitty of me. I love when people are like plus oneing, like going really hard, and they're like, hey man, you go like, hey man, you already have prio, like chill, like you don't need to do that. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I said that to
so
Demo
committed.
once.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. You shouldn't do that, but I just found it funny.
Oh my god.
Did I ever tell you about the +1? Oh my god. I've never done this against someone. I think I was supposed to do it against Fuslie, but she stopped playing. You know what we can do? Do you want to have a +1? Do you want to compete with me in ranked roleplay? I have ranked roleplay.
Ranked roleplay.
Yes. Oh my god. People in my chat knows I have it's a +1 counter. And you and I will have to compete against each other for +1s. And we basically compete to see who can be the most immersive and in character for a day.
Hey, that sounds fun.
I mean, and you giga commit to it. Like,
I'm down. Dude, I will absolutely do that. That sounds fun.
But by the way, if you do it's all, I will say, it's like you definitely cannot do it ever. It's like one of those like kind of gimmicks you maybe do like once a month, once every 2 months, because you can't play the game this way. It's like my chat will -1 me when they like running to your car. That's weird. -1. Like it's like you have to walk.
Yeah.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Who was that guy who was nominated for the Roleplay Awards for our Peer of the Year? The Spanish guy.
Oh, Juan.
Dude, it reminds me of the way Juan plays, where it's like, it is literally like a fucking TV show. And like, you're like, you have like the music playing in the background, cams off. You're like walking down the hallway, like getting to your, it's like just pure cinema the whole time.
Yeah. Dude, I'm down, but I'm not doing it on Chatterbox.
Yeah, no, I agree. We have to do different characters.
Yeah, and I have a character specifically I'm going to do it on. David Durag is waking up, chat.
Who is David Durag?
I basically have another character. I have I have the clown group, right? But I also have a Durag group. It's just a bunch of, like the locals in Grapeseed, like the bigger farmers.
Yeah.
It's those characters, all those guys, and we're the Durag from. We talk like this fucking. Let's get in a fucking pen and get a burger, man. They're just fucking.
I love that voice. What the fuck?
They are assholes, bro. And I'm gonna do it on that guy. That'll be really fun. I can +1 on that guy.
Holy shit! I don't even know who to. There's one. Okay, there's one I'm not allowed. There's one that I could cheat to beat you with, but I won't do it.
Oh, really?
There's one that I 100% can beat you with. It's the easiest one to +1 farm.
What is it?
Wait, you never seen me play Nathan Blau?
No.
The Twitch streamer? Oh, that's the easiest one.
You're such a
This self-insert.
You're playing you as a Twitch streamer.
Dude, Nathan Blau, the Twitch streamer. By the way, it's like I've also learned this, right? There's like your everyday characters, right? Like you can have like your Chatterboxes, your Mickeys, your everydays, right? Where it's like, you know, maybe your Durag characters like this. Nathan Blau is like, I can bring this character out like once every 2-3 months. Very disruptive character, but it's literally just me IRL streaming in Los Santos. I open mic, I talk to chat, and then my chat role plays as an IRL chat.
Hey, dude, that is cheating. that is cheating.
It's cheating. It's actually cheating.
That's a really good character though. I ain't gonna lie.
I'll say that I love the character. It's really fun to play. I mean, the character's a pussy bitch, right? Fucking loser.
Self-insert.
Like really, it is really fun. It is one of those characters that I try to be mindful of, only playing like here and there, because it is kind of like other people on the server are like talking to his chat, like. But like if you think about it, like if you go out in Los Angeles, you'll find people fucking walking around live streaming or like, you know, making TikToks and shit. Like
that's the one thing I was hoping I was gonna get to see when I was actually there, is people doing that, and I never did see it.
Depends where you go. Like if you go to like Santa Monica Pier, you'll see people live streaming.
We did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we never did see anybody there now, though. Yeah, you guys live in not a real place though. That LA is. Oh my god, I get like, bro. As soon as I walked out the airport, I'm like, I hear people honking, yelling at each other, and I'm like, okay, this is something. And then it takes like, wow, it'll take me 30 minutes to walk over there, catch an Uber. Takes an hour. It's like, bro, like what is this?
Well, welcome to Los Angeles, man.
Yeah, I'm good.
LA's sick, dude. I don't know. I like LA, man.
Yeah, you know, I can't even order a pizza where I live.
What?
Yeah, I can't. I gotta drive.
Sure.
It's a 40-minute drive to go get a pizza.
I can order. I can order sushi pizza.
Sushi pizza.
Yeah, it's pizza, but it's like done as sushi. Yeah,
I try that.
Oh, dude, LA food so good. Oh my god.
I will admit, you guys have everything and then more. Like it's just like wow, very overwhelming with the stuff you guys have there. Like it's insane. Then I come back here and I'm like, we got Tim Hortons, you know.
Tim Hortons. It's a simple life, you know.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, like I tell my chat this all the time. I'm a basic bitch, and I'm dead on serious on that. Like like when Allie first met me, she was like, "You never go anywhere, do you?" I'm like, "No, I don't." Yeah.
I mean, listen, I was a country boy. Okay, I grew up in the mountains of Colorado. I was a little mountain boy. Okay.
Till what age?
What was that?
Till what age?
Till I was 18.
Till you were 18.
Yeah.
Why do I not? Why do you?
Dude,
not
I was
There's no way.
I was a whitewater raft guide in the mountains. That was my summer job. I used to take people down whitewater rapids. No cell service. Like that was my summer job. Winters, I'd go up and just ski random fucking places. I was a giga little mountain boy. Hung out at a lake. You know, like I don't know, like I was an little outdoorsy
LA
boy.
changed you, man. Because you are 100% LA guy now.
Yeah.
100%.
No, it was probably Chicago first because I went to school in Chicago. That's what changed.
Bro, I've been to Chicago one time, and it was actually right after the LA trip. Because I went from LA, I flew to Indiana, went to go to see Theo, and then we drove to Nashville. I went and bought a truck, and then I towed it back to Canada. I had to drive through Chicago, and I ain't never seen a city like that ever, bro. Like that was the way, like how many skyscrapers are there and stuff like that, dude. I was just like, it actually threw me off. I was like, I didn't like it, like because it's just like too different. Like we don't even have a skyscraper in Winnipeg, bro. Like it's just
Dude, we need to get you to go to New York City then, because like Chicago is just like it's like the New York of the Midwest, but not quite as New York as New York.
I want to see the one reason why I want to go to New York is I want to see the what they call it, Times Square.
Yeah, I will say vibe wise though, Chicago's vibe as a city, it's hard to explain to people who haven't been there. But like, dude, Chicago's vibe is actually immaculate. Chicago has like this vibe of like, it's in the summertime Chicago.
One day.
Every other time fucking sucks.
I didn't stop there. I was just like, no, that looks too intense for me. I'm staying on this interstate. Yeah.
All right, okay. So already we've done great yap for this first podcast, and we wanted to just do the two of us just to kind of ease back into things. Tell you guys where state of RP is. So for those in the chat wondering, I used to kind of do more themed episodes. We're trying to kind of move away from that and go more podcasty where we'll talk about whatever, or like whatever's kind of relevant. Like we talked about the GTA 6 stuff today, the state of servers. We'll also talk about, I like the idea that since we do it live, we should do a section where we talk with the chat, like, or like questions from the chat, hot takes from the chat, whatever from chat. But then also just so you guys know in the future, we are going to be bringing back guests. Probably a little bit less theme, but we already have some guests planned coming up, which will be really great.
So I got a question though. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, so on the guest thing, like our next podcast, they're going to be a guest.
Yes.
Okay, and it's already locked in.
No, don't leak that one yet.
I'm not leaking. I'm just asking. It's locked in.
It's in the works. Yeah.
Okay. I was curious myself.
Okay. Well, also for you, and that's on Dimok. You have to. The only reason I brought Dimok on as a producer is to, again, just like being a pocket role player, I'm just offloading. Yeah, I'm a pocket producer. I'm offloading responsibilities to him. But no, this is actually something important for both of you. Now that this is a very important thing. When your chat or anyone else asks, will you invite this person on the podcast? When is this person going to be on? Your answer is no, because as soon as they ask about that person, that they're blacklisted. If their name popped up in chat, I have a AI bot that auto blacklists them from the podcast. So,
well,
sorry.
Chat, sorry, Burn's not coming on.
Yeah, sorry. Or you can go the other route, which is when they're like, "Oh my, you should bring this person on the podcast." Be like, yeah. Actually, you know what I used to do? I used to be like, yeah, dude, I'll bring them on the podcast. I just say yes to everyone. Honestly, yes and it. Just say yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're coming on. For sure.
Please have Ellum.
Yeah, sure. We'll have them on. Only problem with Ellum coming on is it is called the Roleplay Podcast.
Yeah. Look, you want to spit some facts about Ellum and Roleplay? That guy got no idea what he's doing, all right? And he knows he has no idea what he's doing. All he wants to do when he gets on chat is he wants to get into a police chase and shoot a cop. That's what he wants to do every time. You guys know it, all right? So if we have Ellum on, that's all he's going to talk about. And then he's going to talk about how he's really scared of people getting into serious RP because he doesn't know how to separate. Done. That's all the podcast would be.
Perfect. That's 2 episodes in one.
Nice. All right. So yeah, that's just like a warning to you. It's like, and generally to everyone in the chat, like, yeah, we're gonna invite guests on. If we want advice on what guests we want on, we'll ask you. We're not gonna ask you. But we will now ask you. Chat, it is time the Roleplay Podcast, because we do this podcast live. It's time for the interactive section from chat. What are your roleplay hot takes? What are your roleplay questions? What do you guys want discussed on the podcast right now? At Chatterbox, at Dimoke, at Blau in the chat with your questions, comments, concerns, commentary. Thank you so much. Now we wait.
Now, yeah.
They're people type.
RP cringe question mark. Sometimes, yep.
Oh my god, so many things. Okay.
Supernatural RP works with limits.
Ooh.
I agree with that. It does work with limits.
It's funny. I'm like I struggle with. I'll be honest. I struggle with supernatural RP. Like, I feel like for me, it's like it's just also like it's if it's within the world. Like I'm like kind of like locked in the world of like GTA. Like if it's within the bounds of like the GTA world, it feels fitting. But like I don't know if I want to play like if I want to go like and do some like magic shit like werewolves and stuff like Hogwarts Legacy roleplay. When still waiting for them to launch a server for that, right? Like
Yeah.
like you know what I mean? Like I just feel. Or if you had a dedicated server to it, like I think someone was saying there was like a whole like GTA server that was like vampire oriented. I just think it's really hard on a server that's not dedicated to it to then it's almost like that memory wipe thing that we talked about where it's like some people are doing it, some people aren't. It's hard to like balance it. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, for me, it just depends what it is, right? Like, I don't know. If it doesn't make sense, I'm like, I stay far away from it, right? But I don't know. It does work with limits, right? But you just, you have to be.
Or you let it be on the server, but you might not. Someone said, how do clowns fit into GTA? There's literally clown things that occur in the base story mode of GTA. Wait, what? There's literally, wait, what? There's literally like clown things that occur in the base story of GTA.
I didn't play up into that point, but I heard it's pretty dark, so it's like kind of.
Oh yeah, but they exist.
We're different, chat. Don't worry. How do you feel about people that don't take scuff into account when RPing? I guess it just depends. I mean, you sometimes you just roll with the scuff. I mean, scuff is scuff. It happens, right? But like, I don't know. I don't know. It just depends on the scuff. I mean, if it's something super unfortunate, then like, okay, right? But I don't know. It just depends. That's a question that's hard to answer. That's just very situation dependent.
Yeah, I think you roll with it, dude. If you're playing Valor and your internet goes out, you're not gonna write an email to like Riot or Spectrum to try to get your RR back. Like, just fucking deal with it. Like, go next.
You guys don't do that?
Well, I mean, like, when I was even doing like the job for you guys, and I didn't know if I could change the weather, and it was like the crazy stormy shit. I was like, well,
I think it's
an
excellent time for him to cut out. What an excellent time for him to cut out.
Sorry, my internet.
Yeah, there.
Oh my god,
back.
That was a horrible time. Spectrum, I'm chill. Spectrum, chill.
Write the email.
Chill.
Yeah, you better get
right. It was a joke. No, I mean, like when you guys were doing the like helicopter heist, right? And I didn't know how to fucking change the weather, and I was like, and I even told her, I was like, chat, they can fly the helicopter. They'll figure it out. I spawned a helicopter, flew it, just fucking bucked me, instantly crashed. I was like, at that point, I like, okay, they're gonna do the job. It's gonna be cinema, and they're gonna try and fly it away while it's stormy, and they're gonna crash it, and that's how it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I think you just roll with it.
It's just like with the boat, right? The boat was like going crazy. We're like, let's new plan, improvise, like, you know.
Yeah.
There was concerns of any clowns not being whitelisted into 5.0 initially. Nope, not at all. That's up to them to do their part. Not mine.
Ooh, okay. Someone said ERP takes Blau 5.0 with ERP or not. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I think what my take on ERP is that it's like, it's funny when it's like, I think it's good content when it's roleplay.
Yeah.
Versus like.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, hey, this can go into a totally different conversation going back to your fantasy character shit, bro.
Yeah. Bro, listen, like there's a difference between roleplay and we're just cyber fucking. Like that's like, I mean, I don't know, like.
I think it should be a heavy should not happen unless it's very clear humorous roleplay. Like very clear that there is a very strict boundary and it's not like you're doing it every day with your RP. Like ain't nobody really want to see that, okay?
Yeah, and like Dude, Nakia is right. Where it's like most people don't know what they mean by like ERP, right? Um, People will see relationship RP and say it's role play, or sorry, either like, oh, you guys are ERP or stuff like that, bro. Like that's not always the case. Weirdly enough, the I don't know if you probably don't even know about this side of role play I've done. You know, I actually went. I did really serious. People don't realize I did pretty serious relationship RP in 4.0, but it was like between Mickey and Slacks. It was gay role play. Like we were gay, and it wasn't like I feel like a lot of people when they do this, I'm not trying to be like super. I'm not trying to like yuck other people's yum here, like criticize. I feel like sometimes when people go with like the gay stuff, they're like, especially when it's like straight guys doing it, it's like, yeah, man, like suck my cock, fuck you in the butt. Like it's very like that. Whereas me and Sab presumably straight, me decreasingly straight, right? Like we role played it as like a very like it was like a romance. It was not sexual. It was like really like cutesy romantic shit. That was the most challenging role play I've had to do was that kind of shit. And I don't like that people just label anything that's like a romantic or even sexual relationship between two characters as that's ERP, right? It's like no, like sometimes it's just good content. It's like people playing those characters that way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like the shit that you hear randomly at the Vanilla Unicorn 3 a.m.
Honestly, you can have very serious like you can have very serious relationship RP. You can do that, and I think that is 100% okay, right? Anybody can do that, but you got to leave like the sexual stuff far out of it unless it's clearly just a quick actual funny ass joke. Otherwise, you shouldn't be doing it at all because
I mean, and again, it's also like it's like one of those where it's like we said, it's a read the room thing, dude. I also the Penny and Curtis clips are so fucking funny, or like Penny and Harry, like dude, some of those clips and that shit was gigasexual, got people fucking banned sometimes, but that shit was golden. Like that was sorry for the pun, but it was like it was fucking great.
Ali just said serious relationship RP isn't ERP. That needs to be said more. Absolutely, yeah. As long as there's a clear boundary in there, right? That you're not doing anything even remotely suggesting stuff like that, right?
I think the antithesis of most stories is, these relationships that the characters in it build. So I think like disregarding all relationship RP is so silly because it can push forward so many, storylines. It can make things more intense, more impactful. It can really drive so much role play surrounding it. I think people just need to understand like relationship role play, is very different than like just two people, just wanting to role play out like sex with each other. Like that's very different and not the same thing at all, right? That's ERP, right? The other stuff is not.
Yeah, like literally some of the best works of media, film, storytelling, whether they be comedy or like a drama, involve romance, right? Now, fucking those Troy motherfuckers took Helen of Troy, started a fucking war. Now look where we are, that was my example. I don't know. But now imagine. Okay, I'll say it. Like imagine now that Homer's writing, the Iliad, right? And instead of like, I don't know, like what if like 20 pages out of the Iliad was just him like graphically describing like, I don't know, Paris and Helen, like fucking, like that would kind of ruin the vibe of the book. Like it's like, yo, hey, here's the Iliad, here's the Odyssey. It's like, hey man, why do you have like just 20 pages dedicated to them banging here, man? Like you're kind of ruining the vibe of the Trojan War. Like what the fuck is this? Sorry, no. Well, maybe some people are about that though,
Yeah. It circles back to what we said earlier too. It's one of those where like the constant like communication is really important too, I think. Like making sure like everybody knows, everybody's on the same page, right? I think that's really important for that kind of stuff as well. That's why, I think more people should do that more often, just to make sure everybody's feeling comfortable with the role play and stuff.
There was a I've seen this question now twice. Blau, would you make a clown character? No.
Why not, man? What's up with that answer, man? That was just a very clear, like, that was an aggressive no. Like, what's going on?
No. Hey, you know why?
Why not?
That's your guy. That's your guys' thing, okay?
What if we made clowns together? What if me and you made clowns together and just troll?
Oh wait,
Chatterbox for a day?
Dimoke will do it with me. I'm in.
Okay, pocket role player.
Wow, I guess you can't RP solo, huh?
He needs a partner, man.
No. I think my okay. Hear me out if you know like sort of why would I maybe as a maybe like a one day thing. I think I would do, like, it's not. I love what you guys do. I think I would have fun doing it. I also I'm just I'm cognizant though of like as an example, I only made the character December Foos because Foozly asked if I wanted to make that character. And then I also don't play the character as a that's not like a main character of mine, right? And like she even and it was like one of those where it's like, look at Janet with like January Foos, like that was one where it's like they agreed on that, and then Janet X Chocobar is like, oh, that's going to be my main. Like that was like an agreed upon kind of like thing.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I only go and play December like once in a fucking blue moon, right? So yeah, if I made a clown, like I wouldn't just like wake up and be like, I'm a full-time clown.
Listen, dude, I'm gonna tell you this right now. That's a Foos character, okay? It's not like you're a clown character. The way it would be weird would be if you just made a fumbles character, as like, because stumbles fumbles, right?
Right.
That's something you ask. You can make a clown. I don't dictate who can make a clown or not. Anybody can make a clown. All the
I see what you're
clowns,
saying.
there's
yeah.
groups, right?
It's a little different.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. There could be 1,000 clowns in the city. That'd be awesome. It's just 1,000 clowns can't be in one group though, right? It just doesn't work, right? If you vibe good with people, then those clowns generally ride with each other and do stuff with each other, right? It's all about your vibe. That's how it works with characters like that.
Yeah, and for me, it's like I would want to. It actually is funny. I was considering making a. Do you want to know because you pitched it? I'll link it to chat. Not saying I still won't do this, but so Chatterbox did even say for the event you want because I was coming to supply you guys. And you said he wanted me give me the lore behind. You wanted me to have like some character that was like from the old like clown cell.
Yeah, because you were like, because if you wanted to just join in on the fight, right? You could have been like, you could have showed up with a clown, right? And if you had no idea what you wanted to do, bang, came in part of the lore. I came from the old Clowngress that fell, right? Because Clowngress went down, all this stuff happened. It's a big lore, and you could be like, I got this info. I got all these guns and stuff like that. I'm here to help defend because you know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know what's coming, and you brought this shipment.
So my what I was considering doing is I was gonna make like a really fucking like epic looking kind of like fucking serious looking ass clown that was gonna be like a really old guy, like super fucking old, like giga ancient clown.
Yeah.
And I was going to the vibes were gonna be like think like Final Fantasy, like 15 battle music, like epic orchestra, fucking.
Oh man,
Giga OG clown comes in, and I was gonna be flanked by like fucking helicopters and like all sorts of armaments. Like like we've come with the fucking, and I was gonna have the character like die and perma in some epic fucking like during the fight, right?
Yo,
I just didn't have the time.
That would have been the perfect time for that too, because how intense it was. That would have been good.
And it would have been like one of those someone said Gandalf style. Yeah, I would have been. It would have been like I would have like showed up before all of them. Like look to the east for my light on the third day, and then like during the fight, like come in with like a fucking attack helicopters. This old ass clown. Like that would have been That was I was looking for like that like old man, like Gandalf kind of like savior that then dies and sacrifices. I think that would have been cool.
The Clandolf.
Yeah. That Dumble revive, but I was busy, so
Hey,
that
listen, man,
happens.
keep that idea cooking because there may be another great opportunity for that coming up. The way RP looks like it's going, so keep that idea there, bro. If you ever want to, actually make that a reality, because you never know.
Okay, by the way,
know.
it makes me happy that Nikita said we could have used the freaking tank. Dude, I don't know if I told you this. The tank, Dimok, I don't even know if you know this tank bit. Nikita must know because it was in the admin chat. I spawned, by the way,
It was in the admin chat. Oh no.
the tank was always supposed to be, the bit was always that we would like actually get you the tank because you requested, but then like something would always occur where you couldn't use the tank. Because we're not like actually use it. I fucking left the tank at Meriwether Docks, and then like in like OOC chat, there's like, hey, like there's a tank at the Meriwether. Like some random people found it, and Sab was like messaging me like, hey man, like, are you using this tank for? And this is the worst part was Sab was like, hey, like I locked it because I'm like, he's like, I know you like probably need it like for like your event or your mission that you're doing. And I then had to explain to Sab, I was like, no, I spawned that in for a bit.
And you forgot about it? Dude, I thought you put it in the ocean.
Well, then I put it in the ocean.
Oh, you had to go back. Oh.
Yeah. Because I was literally like watching you guys setting stuff up, and I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot about the tank.
Dude, the text message, by the way, was so funny. We're all down by the cops. Situation's done, and I get a text. Hey, I found the keys.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, like the idea of that, I also like kind of using the admin or like dev panel for stuff like that, where it's like you kind of tease things, but like, the bit of like Mickey trying to get you guys a tank is, it's like I had to have to keep that going.
That was
always
awesome.
coming around with it, but
it's
it never works, right?
Yeah.
The other thing that was funny, I had an attack helicopter that usually after I've spawned stuff in for like an event, I did learn, by the way, finally how to delete entities, but it took me, there's a whole system in panel. We have to learn how to you have to like select an entity and then delete it. There was a complicated system. And until I learned how to do that, Dimok will tell you, because we were off stream doing this, I would just ocean dump everything. And the way I climb into the car, teleport marker out into the ocean. So like there was like probably moments in the server where there was like, I don't know, like 12 attack helicopters just dumped in the ocean somewhere from me like testing shit out. So yeah, I've been polluting the server. So sorry. I figured out how to delete shit now, guys.
Thank God for the reset.
Dude, I was okay. Also, there's just like some things in the fucking menu that scare, like it's like delete entity. And I'm always like, I'm used to like, I used to work with like the panels with some of the games and stuff like the League, and League is such a fucking spaghetti code game where like you would like use the panel for League, and if you clicked on something, you just fucking crash the whole thing, crash your PC, fucking all of Los Angeles West Side internet goes down, like powers out, like it was bad. Like that shit was corrupted. So anyways, next take from chat.
Another tank, chat. Let's go. Let's do it. Bobo is
dead.
Honestly,
Nikita being the first one to use the tank on Tessa would be great, actually. Because I can trust her. I can trust you to use it, not just like, you always get worried like someone's just gonna fucking, that thing, you literally could just power game with that thing.
Dude, somebody would just drive into the city and just start opening it up. Like,
yeah. I do not trust it. Oh.
Don't worry, but I got a great question for you. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
From production in my ear.
Yeah. Wasn't like all the code with Skarner written in the game code, and that's why it took so long to rework him? This is clearly a League of Legends question. So actually, this is a question only for Chatterbox to answer.
What?
Yeah. Once again, all the code written for Skarner also used for importing game code, and that's why it took so long to rework him. Any comment on that, Chatterbox? The League question of the day.
Yes.
And that's your answer. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
The one that they have shared, by the way, though, demo of like true spaghetti code for League of Legends is that the entire map used to, the way they like did abilities and stuff was the entire map was actually gridded out in invisible Teemos.
What? Wait, really?
It's a very complicated. They basically made the entire map filled with invisible Teemos as like a way to like grid the map. It was insane. Don't worry
Okay,
about
real
it.
question though. RP moments that you regret. Is there anything you've ever done an RP that you're like, ugh, that was a bad idea?
Murdering giblets. Because yeah. One prank too far. Yeah, I prank called the gang, the BBMC, and then I guess they found out that it was Chatterbox. I prank called them, so they permed one of the clowns, one of my favorite clowns. Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough.
The first clown I ever roleplayed with back in 2019.
Damn.
Sad.
Yeah,
My
mine
only
was
regret.
mine was meeting Mickey in character on Breckers. It's fucked from there, basically.
I actually do have I do have a recent regret. And it's like I don't regret the outcome. It's just like the way it went down. I just kind of felt bad for like some of the parties involved. And I'm not. I don't put blame on me. It's just a complicated situation. When the company ended, I wanted it to end. I did not want it. Like I feel like some of the circumstances around it were not great. As basically me and Demo had already planned to leave and do our own thing. Like it was kind of like we wanted the story to end. It was like, hey, this is the company has an ending point. We move on. So we wanted to do that. I don't know. It being like tied into like it got a little too dramatic for us though. Like some other stuff.
It turned a little messy.
It was messy, yeah. But it was like one of those where like I think it was also like people didn't if they hadn't been watching me or Dimoke, they didn't realize that we were already planning to do that.
I gotta step away for like 30 seconds. I'm being called.
Okay, step away, and then I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna answer. He's gone. I can answer shit with a ton of drama. Perfect.
Oh god.
Okay. With Rockstar owning it, 5M, how do you feel about potential community servers for RP on GTA? All I'll say is this. I think I will stand by this take, chat. Rockstar owning 5M and Rockstar being involved in roleplay, there could be some good, could be some bad. I think it is 100% a net positive. I think it is good. It shows that Rockstar is interested in this. You have to realize that they could have shut down. I'm pretty sure they could have, if they wanted to, they could have shut down 5M at any time. I think they did that. And they also did that. Remember they did Roleplay Week where they were giving out so many subs to all the roleplay streamers. And I feel like and I'm also just thinking if I'm Rockstar, I look at what's kept GTA 5 alive beyond just online. But I'm like, if I'm at Rockstar, I'm like, dude, why is our game still one of the most streamed games, 10, 12 years later? And I'm like, yeah, let's support that. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and yeah, Elikai was right. They were beefing with 5M ahead of time.
There was a beef with 5M?
No. The question I was responding to is like, it was about Rockstar's involvement. I'm like, I mean, there's always like good and bad when like developers get into like the modding scenes or whatever, but like I also look at how like Minecraft handled like Bedrock and Java, right? Like I think that's what like they allowed both those ecosystems to exist, right?
Yeah.
I just think I think it's like it's just got to be a net positive thing that they're because they also did like remember they did Roleplay Week, right? Where they were like gifting subs to role players.
They acknowledged the modded community, which is a plus, right? So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's easy to doom about stuff, right? And they didn't shut anybody down, so it can only mean good things. Let's be real. My opinion.
Yeah.
Wait, this is a hot take. Soft permas should replace most permas as it allows people who may want to come back in a different version the chance to.
What's a soft perma? What does that really mean, though? Like, how do you go about doing a soft perma?
It's the way Timo did.
Look, I will I will say that from my point of view, I actually I think I do believe in firm permas. There would be no other situation I would bring Breckers back than the one that we are currently in. Because me and Blau
Bro,
talked about it a long time, and we said, we're gonna do this. Like this is kind of an OC thing to run these heists, and it's like something we want to do. Like, not because a lot of it is OC prep work and stuff. We're like, it doesn't make more sense for Mickey to come in with a character, a new character that I make that is basically just Breckers, but because it's like just Mickey's sidekick essentially. But I just change his name and like obviously he'll act different, but it
I'd call
felt
you
so
Breckers.
yeah, it just felt so hollow. It's like, well, I'm just gonna make a recreation of a character. Like if there's a way that I can just take this old character and retool him, then I'd rather do that because it makes more sense A for the story and B for like what we were trying to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I
Okay.
think that's why it was easy for me to like do that to
Okay.
bring Breckers back. But normally I would never. Like I've permed 4 characters across my time in NoPixel, and I've never brought any of them back until now,
Yeah. Well,
or had any desire to.
I mean, you're not really allowed to either, unless like you have to get like approval and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
special permission and all that.
Yeah. Like,
Technically,
yeah.
yeah, and technically Dimo didn't OOC
Perma.
perma.
Yeah. Never
Yeah,
actually typed the words.
he never actually perma, like by the server rules, never permitted the character.
And I did that intentionally, actually.
Loopholes.
That was an intentional decision when I was killing the character because I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, and also, Blau wasn't like super like role playing around that time. So it's like if like Mickey wants to do something in the future to like, I don't want to cut off that RP avenue, you know what I mean? Or if like
Yeah.
Benji or Ray and they did, like they kidnapped him and put him in the, humane lab. So I
I,
wanted to leave it open ended.
I do feel like that we did get the best of both worlds because my only counterpoint to that hot take is at the time, for me and for other people role playing, it felt like a perma, like it would like the character was dead, and that created so much good RP.
Yeah.
I was back and probably did some of the best serious role play I've ever done for like I think for like 2 weeks. I did like a 2 week long arc that was probably the best serious role play I've done, and that was enabled by that. So
It's funny you say that because I guess you can say what Valkyrie did was a soft perma too, because she just did a Raymond dipped, left the city, right? That could technically be like, considered a soft perma because she's been gone she's not there, she's been gone, right? And then that sparked my serious RP I did when I came back from TwitchCon, and it lasted for like a month, I think, or more. I don't know, but it was really good. Like it was really good.
yeah, so I think it's like I think you can have both, right? I think it's still okay for some people to truly just perma a character,
Well, yeah. I think there's room for both avenues.
Yeah.
All right, next takes, chat. Next takes. Thoughts on all role players should have one. I think all role players should absolutely play a second character at some point, or be forced to play a second character, or just a one lifer, like just to like try different things. I don't know.
It helps with creative blocks too, because like you get ideas from playing other characters too with your main character and stuff like that just by playing other characters. I found that lots. Just by going out and doing different things, just sparks different. I don't know. That's just me.
No, I think it also helps like you understand the city better because it's essentially a reputation wipe too. Like, of course, people recognize your voice still, and sometimes, but like, you're not. If you're like a big gang member, you're not like the leader of a gang anymore. You're just a normal guy now
Yeah.
on this other character, and you
Yeah.
see things from a very different perspective.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like cop characters should have a crim or civ character, and like gang members should always at least attempt to see what the other side is too. Like at least attempt to see what cops go through too. It actually changes your perspective a lot, right? I'm very in the middle with all of them. I'm very, very in the middle. Like, cause I see, like, I know cops get treated like shit. Like Blau said, they get treated like shit. But like, I also know that a lot of crims get treated like shit too, right?
Yeah.
So.
The kid said, I think everyone should try playing a civilian normally at least one time. Yeah,
Yes.
actually, there's one character that was really fun to play that made me like, that changed my perspective on role. Remember when we played the fucking regular guys?
This the go post.
We were just talking about that. Yeah.
We played just a fucking regular guy, just a go postal worker delivering back like that. It really like changes your perspective on like what is normal and isn't normal in the city.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was like weirdly enough when we're role playing, you know, a crazy psychotic clown or a sassy gay bank heister, right? All of a sudden when you pull everything back to I'm a delivery guy for Go Postal, it really like changes your perspective on the world. So
Yeah. No, that was a really fun bit that day. That was, oh my god. Oh
yeah,
man.
that was.
All right. Any
there was-
RPers I'll look up to take inspiration from? Several.
I'm right here. You can just say me. It's fine.
Do you ever because if you're gonna name them, I'm wondering if you deal with this, right? Because if you name them, then your chat will, I don't know, maybe the chats, maybe yours doesn't do this as much. Mine does. A lot of the role play chats do it, but like and side note, it's my pet peeve about role play is when I'm like, damn dude, Tony's a good driver. And then like the chat will be like, what about Goofy? What about like Dale? It's like, oh, I didn't mention that person's a good driver. I'll go fuck myself. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, anyways, so who are the ones who inspire you so that I can tell you who you left out?
Burn. Rami when he plays Conan. Obviously, Lord Kevin. That guy really gave me a kick in the ass. Okay. Because every day when that guy gets on, he does something different. What are you laughing about? The Romeo of the Conan thing?
Yeah.
Bro,
That's like saying Rami when he role plays.
Dude, when he plays Conan, dude, you cannot.
I'm kidding.
You cannot tell me that is
Conan,
not.
Conan streams are
they're
at peak, dude. It's so good. I love when he plays Conan.
Dude, every time he plays Conan, I'm like, I want to watch so bad because he's
oh my
really
god,
good
dude!
at it.
When he came, dude, whatever the clips were, when he came back and he's on the call with Slacks. And it's just calling him. He's like, Bass, where are you? I need your help. It was like an early 4.0. It was the funniest shit ever.
Dude, the end of 3.0 when he was joining the Sanguine War, but the other side because he was getting a mobility scooter out of it. So stupid, man. Oh god. Yeah, just stuff like that, bro. That I was just like, man, I could do better. You know, these guys are doing this stuff. Like, I could do better. Like, it's little bits from different people. Like, Burn, just with how creative he is with different characters and the voices and, like, how immersive he is. Kevin with, like, his dedication to, he plays one thing all the time, but he's, like, every day when he gets on, it's, like, he's always making sure it's entertaining and he keeps going. He never stops. And, like, you can't, like, I can't not respect something like that. Rami with his creativity, with his like with Conan, bro, like it's just what he does with it and how he can do the cop role really well, but also be an absolute troll of a character and make it like it's stuff like that, bro, that I watch and I'm like, wow, it makes me want to like to play and do more, right? And then just obviously 2024 when I met Raymond, right? It was just like. That's the story-driven stuff, like all the storytelling and all that. Like it's just all those things like really help me keep getting ideas and keep going, right? Because you take bits and pieces out of those people that I watch, it's like That's how I'm able to keep going every day, because I kind of think about all that.
That is a
Yeah.
that is a good list.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's gonna. Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Demo,
Notice
I'm
my name wasn't
curious.
on
Oh
the.
yeah. Demo, what? I'm curious about you, Demo. We'll go to production here.
Oh,
Production.
yeah, production in. What's the question?
So who are the ones who have inspired? Like, who do you think inspire you the most?
Inspire. Yeah. Gosh, I used to. I think. I'm really inspired by Buddha's roleplay. Actually. I think. Okay. I think Buddha's a great. I think Buddha's a
Buddha
great
is
role
great.
player, and I think he can do so much different stuff. Like looking at what he does now versus what he did in 3.0 with Cerberus is kind of cool to see like him hit those two very different ranges of these big organizations. I think it takes a lot of work to do that. Um, in the same vein, I actually I hate to say this because she's fucking in the chat, I'm sure, but I think Nikita is a great role player too. Like I don't want to gas Nikita, but I've role played with Nikita for like a long time, like on Wild and like here and stuff. And I think characters like Tessa are really like undervalued because they add so much to roleplay scenarios, but like a lot of the time they aren't like the loudest voice in the room, so people will ignore them. But they
Bro,
are like the big pushers, you know?
she carried my Jagger arc. She carried it. Absolutely
Exactly.
carried it.
Yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of people forget about characters like that, but I think that kind of role play is really inspiring. And what I tend to do, like I tend to just want to support other people's stories. I love that stuff.
What about you, Blau?
Yeah, these are good lists. No one on the gut now. Let's see. Yeah, listen. Listen. Despite crazy, like long-term, I was in CG, left CG, all that stuff. I actually echo your thought. Kevin will always be a huge source of inspiration. Literally, the identity of Mickey as a heist master of involving himself in crazy plans to steal things, break people out, do what like the crazy plans of Mickey is a literal like mentor mentee relationship of Mr. K and Mickey. Like, and Mickey is all will like forever in his lore is like the disciple of Mr. K for like these crazy mastermind criminal plans. Like that's always part of his lore, right? So likewise, I get a lot of inspiration from Kevin. Okay, this one is like my chat's gonna roast me for it. This is less of like the care. This is just more because I'm a lazy content creator. I do a thing where when I'm out of ideas for content, there's one streamer where I watch her streams and I basically just steal her ideas and then slightly twist them
Smart.
around and call them my own. Yeah. And that's Foozly. So I basically listen, like April is a great reference to learn to do a lot of shit. I actually based a lot of like, it's funny. Mickey became much more of a like the sassy gay character by actually having a lot more Aprilisms put into the character. Like the way like, you might not even like it's one of those things where I feel like you don't think about it, but then if I say it, you're like, wait a minute, I kind of see that. Like that the way I'm like really sassy and obnoxious with Mickey is kind of it's like a gay guy coded version of April. And I copied that from Foozly. Because sometimes when I don't have ideas, I have to wait for her to go live on stream to steal whatever ideas she comes up with. So Kevin Foozly, and then Buddha is also one for me, but that's just like I don't know why. And I will like this is you want to know a role. I didn't role play at all with Buddha in 4.0, and so like I had to like really swim on my own. But some of my best role play is when like me and Buddha cook ideas together. The ski cocaine arc in 3.0 will always be it's probably my favorite arc of any arc I've even more than the Mayor Mickey arc, Casino Heist. None of that shit mattered compared to when me and Buddha were just getting random people to sell cocaine for us. That was like I don't even know if you know the whole story of this arc, Chatterbox. We literally it was random new people on the fucking server that were like taking out loans to buy our cocaine to then go and we create a pyramid scheme to go. They would buy the cocaine from us to sell to other people. We created this fucking crazy network pyramid scheme of people buying and selling cocaine. And it was when cocaine didn't really, it wasn't like it was pure role play. No like major buff. We used to just lie to people about what buffs it gave you. It barely gave you any buff. We just would make shit up about it.
Big brain. Yeah. That actually sounds lit. Oh my God.
Anyway, so that's my inspo.
Okay, shit.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, can we talk hockey again or like?
You can end it with one minute of hockey, and your timer starts now.
Okay, Blau, who do you think's actually taking the cup for real? For real, bro. Who do you think has the best chance?
Like who does my head say?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, you're not gonna like it.
Dude, just say it.
It's probably the Panthers.
You think the Panthers? My head.
The Leafs look shaky, like right, like it's probably an East Coast team, no?
My head says the Oilers, but my heart wants the Jets. But I think the Oilers are hungry, bro.
Oh, actually, no. I believe this take too. Oilers.
End time. Tune in 2 weeks to hear the rest of that take, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see how this. I also will say this is not a hockey thing. This is just formal business thing. Mm-hmm. If the Jets do make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, I will fly out to Winnipeg to watch the Stanley Cup.
Oh, you got a place to stay, and I'll get the tickets. You know, we good. So
and we get to do the whiteout, right? Where we wear all white and oh shit.
You, me, and Allie are definitely going.
That would be, dude. I'm down to go with you. That's why I hope the Jets make it. It's also like a bucket list of mine to go to Stanley Cup Finals game. Anyways, that was episode 1. We're just catching up on all things role play. GTA 6 has a launch date, guys. We are 1 year and 25-ish days, 24 days away from GTA 6. The countdown. We should put a countdown on the Roleplay Podcast. Days until GTA 6.
It'll get delayed again.
Yeah, we'll bump it up every time.
Okay, I don't mind that they delayed. Chatterbox joining us now as the season 3 co-host. We have Dimoke on production. Roleplay Podcast is getting better. This is the part of the stream that is the cringe part. I have to shout it out, guys. You want to support the. Hey, you guys want to support the podcast? Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any we are a legitimate podcast, guys. We have actual, and we're also one of the only podcasts with like white guys with Shure SM7Bs that is not problematic. Okay, like God. I get that there's a lot of podcasts out there with some white guys with Shure SMB mics and they're saying some fucking crazy shit. We're not one of them. So anyway, so you guys can support the podcast. Roleplay Podcast on YouTube is the best way to support us. We're also now on Twitter. I'm never going to call that shit X. We're on Twitter at the Roleplay Pod. You guys can follow us there. And yeah, I think we're trying to target, like, hey, listen, we're a flexible podcast. We're trying to do like every 2 weeks. We are going to have some guests on. Our first guest in 2 weeks that we're trying to confirm is a really good one. Was definitely mentioned a few times today.
Dude, I thought you were trying not to leak anything, man. They will find out.
We mentioned a lot of people, okay? Chill. Chatterbox, any of your final thoughts?
Looking forward to season 3. It's very easy for me. I'm not a very good at podcast, but talking about role play is a very, very, very easy thing for me because of I'm very passionate about it. So appreciate you doing this, getting me on there, and I look forward to all the episodes with our guests because I'm just gonna say this right now. Like the first time around when you had me on your podcast, I kind of went in on some questions, right? And I'm still gonna do that with some of our guests. So ain't not gonna change.
Yeah. Grill them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I ain't grill.
Roleplay.
It's not just grill. I'm not just straight up gonna grill. I'm just gonna ask some pretty questions that I don't know. Maybe they're not gonna want to answer, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So you better put a warning out to your guests.
Roleplay Podcast is back this time with more drama, more tea. Ooh, love that. Listen, I'll be honest. I miss some of the roleplay. I miss like some of the tea, the drama, the beef, man. Like, let's start that shit back up again. You get Kyle to come on. We can talk shit to him. That one's easy.
True.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And one other thing. Are you a potential sponsor watching? Roleplay Podcast is now looking for a sponsor. That's right. You could sponsor the Roleplay sometimes they actually, but I've learned to do this because apparently some of them do actually watch. I shit you not. I was told some do watch. We are looking for a sponsor. Every single chatter will buy 2 of whatever you're offering.
That's true. That's true improvement.
That's right.
GMS or contact us.
Thank you guys so much. I forgot how to close these out. What do I do again?
We need a closure. We need a closure right now. We got to say something.
Here's what I'll say. I got you on this. Blau will now be here to give you the proper closing for the season 3 because he is the host and I am just the co-host. So you guys.
Okay, I know we're equally co-hosts. Wait, what?
Yeah.
We're both co-hosts.
I'm the producer, man. This is on Blau.
Oh, so this is. Wait, you're the. So the producer has spoken.
Wasn't it something about like the city, like
see
you in the city or something?
See
like
you
that?
in the city. I used to say, oh God.